Okay, hey everybody. All right, looks like this is going. Um, looks like that's going. All right, welcome back. Yeah, so welcome to Certain Persona 3. So last time I cut it off because I died, and didn't want to show you guys me redoing the stuff because I didn't have a ton of time for that. So I've redone that. I actually did go through everything and then actually play a little bit more past that. So we might skip out of Persona 3 a little bit faster than normal. Um, We're up to level 74 now, which is not, like, amazing, but it's whatever. I'm actually going to do something real quick here. Let's go ahead and get Akihiko to do this, because we're just going to do that to save a bit of whatever. Alright, so we've been in here, and I've been just going around looking for Monad doors to try and get another Arcana Burst, because I did have to leave, basically, so we're going to have to basically do this crap again. So yeah, we're just gonna go through. We're gonna try and do what we can, but yeah, I need major arcanas again. I've actually done a bunch while I was down here this morning, and I have not gotten a single major arcana that I want out of like 6 cards, 7 cards so far. So like, it's not going great. Now that we've got like more cards available, it's actually just kind of miserable experience trying to get arcana bursts. And this is kind of the thing that you sort of end up in. It's like you've got the ability to either get an Arcana Burst, or you don't get the Arcana Burst because like the crap that you've got like is bad. So you either have to get like bad Major Arcanas, or you just don't get them. It's like, all right, another Monad door. So get another option here. They're all like easy ones at this stage, so we're not really getting very good rewards out of them, but we're just here for the major arcanas, which we're not getting good ones either. So that's, you know. I mean, you know, that's a fun misunderstanding. I wonder what it was in the original Japanese. Just because like there's no way that's the original word. The pun probably doesn't work in Japanese, but who knows? Maybe it does. I don't know. These guys are annoying just on account of not having any weaknesses, but you know, whatever. I should actually have used myriad arrows there. Who knows? Maybe I would have gotten a critical. All right. Then again, Ken doesn't really care if I spend SP on him. Like, I can spend his SP pretty fast. Pretty aggressively, and it won't matter. Where the hell? Alright, there's the Monad door. These should be, like, fairly fast ones, but I wonder if the major arcana that you get varies depending on which Monad doors you're doing. I haven't noticed any pattern based on that, but I wonder if that's a thing that happens. Been fighting these guys a lot. Like, these guys are my usual go-to because they're on well earlier floors. They're relatively fast for me to take out. They've got weaknesses. But I am kind of sick of seeing these guys a little bit. It's not like they get one shot either, so it's not like they're super, super fast for me to take down either. I probably didn't need to do this, but I might as well. Basically free, so... And then here's the important part. After I get my major arcanas, I probably will be high enough level that I can challenge the boss. I was saying I'd probably be aiming for about 76. I'm level 74 right now. This is a pretty good chance that we'll just be fine. Wind. Okay. Then there's just one little guy. After this, we're killing these guys a little bit faster. I have gotten stronger, because I have leveled, but I didn't think I'd gotten this much stronger. Ooh, this guy's fast. I figured by now I would have outsped him with Yukari, but apparently not. I bet Karmar could, though. Okay. What was the actual weakness? Right now, I'm not really that interested in getting, like, a whole ton of picks after each fight, so, like, I'm not looking for Justice or Star. So that's also cutting down on the pool quite a bit. Persona's up to level 5. Okay, I don't really care about that, and I also don't care about this. Not like, this is kind of what I've been getting. I'm actually going to take that one. I don't care about that much, but it's not terrible. And I do need to start filling this in. I need to start getting my stupid Major Arcanas. Yeah, that's also barely any experience points is the problem. If I can get it at the very least, the Priestess Arcana, I think I can go fight that boss, because it's like one of the very few that just actually increases my battle damage. As opposed to like basically everything else, which doesn't actually increase my damage. Once I've sort of got that, then at the very least I won't be getting wrecked in fights. I'd also like to go to the boss fight with the Fool Arcana, though. Because then I get the bonus experience points on that boss. And since it's percent-based, like, that's obviously something that would be really, really handy to have when I'm trying to level. I don't know, it hasn't been too miserable an experience, like, leveling, but I haven't been doing it very much, so... one of these jerks. Okay. I'm okay with spending some of Fuka's SP here. Let's just go after it. This one shouldn't be too tough, and I think I can get a Major Arcana off of it. Shouldn't this have already happened, though? Because, like, we already got the search from the Monad door from the previous. Shouldn't that be free? I feel like that should be free after a Monad door. I don't know. Alright, what are you about here? This one's slashing a dark? Okay. This will probably kill it, actually. Alright. Easy enough. Okay, so, like, Devil Arcana is another thing. Like, I don't really need that, so I'm not that interested in getting it. I'm gonna get Orthrus, because I actually hate for some reason to have to get, like, a Genbu, which is, like, a lower level thing. I do need to keep Seiryu. I don't really know if I need... I don't need Incubus anymore. I'm gonna get rid of him. Although that's probably one of the ones that I probably could have used to merge into Genbu or whatever. I don't know. I have no idea what Genbu's made out of. I found out that I can actually just get an Invigorate 3 from the store in this version. So I actually just bought it. So now I just have to get something into Hecon's Carries or something like that, or whatever it was that Elizabeth wanted, and then I can just slap the Invigorate 3 onto it without having to do the merges stuff. And then it'll be done, and I'll be out of that hell forever. Oops. Should have just let Ken talk there before I open that, but... I don't love the fact that I have to be able to, like, move before I can activate this sort of dash thing. It would be nice if I did get stuck on something I'm trying to break, if I could activate it by running into it. Just make things a little bit easier.
There's a treasure chest over there. We found a way down.
Okay. Perfect. Another Monad door. The other thing is, like, it's not as though 10,000 experience is, like, a terrible amount. It's, like, not great, but we're not getting quite that much either. But, you know, we're getting enough that, like, these are not, like, super disappointing to me. It's just they're kind of disappointing. Given how easy the fights are as well, I guess it's a good amount of experience points. Alright, in we go. Same three dudes every time, which is like you'd think that that would be a repetitive, boring thing that you would dislike, but actually no, I really like that same three guys every time because that makes it so much more consistent. We are faster now. Okay. I wonder if our speed stat's actually the same as that thing. We might actually be at that point.
Shall I take charge? You take it from here. Leave it to me. This is my resolve.
Nothing like those treasure hand shadows. Well, I mean, they're kind of like the gold hands, but... might have been Daisojo. I can't remember. Savage Shadows in the second half of Imperium Block give you 30,000 XP? Huh. Would they kick my ass, though, is the other question. Because, just because, like, they give me 30,000 experience points, does not mean that they wouldn't kick my ass as well, which could potentially be a problem. I probably beat those. I think that's the one that comes in, like, clusters of 5. They got, like, the green masks or something like that. Yeah, I think those guys are... Well, those guys are kind of annoying to fight, honestly, because they don't have weakness, but they're not that bad. Ooh, that's nice. I'll get you to do this. Do I have something better than Fatal End, or is Fatal End the best I got here? Vorpal Blade. Okay, I kind of would rather get levels up on Scatty here, because I want Diamond Dust, so we'll use this. Well, that sounds... Everything you just described there sounds kind of annoying. The, like, resistant to everything sounds the most annoying, because, like, I would mostly just fight those by having Theurgies. God damn it. Okay, still the same crap. Alright, let's get this. Is there any way for me to just not take a card? This is why I didn't really want to have start. Alright, I'm going to take the Devil Arcana. I don't need power. Let's just do that. There's a very real chance that, like, I get crappy Arcanas here and I actually just leave. These are so bad. This has been, like, 9 and I haven't gotten any good ones. Across the, like, 9 Arcanas that I've found. It's so bad. And I know that there's even more that, like, I could gain access to, because, like, I have that exclamation mark above Elizabeth, because, like, she's going to give me more tarot cards that I don't want to get. And it's just going to make it so much harder to get what I want. What would be kind of nice is if, like, there was one card or whatever. I'm not doing any fusing right now is the thing. So, like, it's not actually the one I want right now. If I had something in plan that I was going to fuse, then that would be kind of okay. But the thing that I want to fuse is within the level range, because I just need, like, whatever the hell, Daisojo, whatever. Whatever it actually is, I can't remember. You're probably right. It is probably that. But, whatever that is within my level range. I don't need to get, Koryu anymore because I found Invigorate just from an item. So, like, I don't need to worry about that anymore. All right, we're gonna fight this guy. So yeah, like I don't really need the Sun Arcana right now. I'm just gonna do 2 Myriad Arrows here. No reason to switch. I kind of want to just do regular attacks here, but I might as well just do this. Ooh, I should have used a cache of cards, actually. Well, it didn't matter. It didn't matter.
Good job, everyone.
Could I challenge the Reaper? Probably not, because I don't have the right setup here for what I think I would need for the Reaper, because I remember roughly what he could do. The multiple actions thing was like the most difficult part to deal with in status effects. I would have to go around looking for things that would have like fast recovery, so I wouldn't be constantly crippled by status effects. Is the sort of main thing with that, and that's I think mostly going to come down to like items, because I think I need that mostly for like Ken and Yukari. And I'll just look up which items I need to get that effect. Okay, I'm gonna head into here, I guess. I don't really think that it matters too much which one I pick. But we're just gonna get another set of Monad doors.
Let's get going.
If I didn't have to deal with the status effects from the Reaper, I could probably fight the Reaper and win. I think.
Alright, doesn't seem to be effective. I'll end this. I've already scanned this one. And now?
Okay, I guess we use this to block confusion. Oh wait, yeah, no, it's to block confusion, and she's the one that heals confusion. I wonder if Amrita Shower... No, like, I wonder if Tentarafu gets blocked by this, if, it'll probably get wasted by their wind attack, though. Huh. Well, I'm not gonna worry about it, it's fine. Just block. Decent chance of critting on here. Didn't get it.
What is optimal?
I have to worry about wind. This is good, actually. Yeah, no, I can't get the... I don't think I can get the Tome of Void or anything like that right now. Yeah, I think that's what I did the first time to get through it, is I built those items. I can't remember exactly which ones to do and which ones I had, but... yeah, I'm pretty sure I don't actually have the full ingredients for what I need for that. Especially not enough diamonds. Because I've only started barely getting a little bit of diamonds. And if I recall correctly, I need like 20 or something ridiculous like that for all of that. It's also slightly different because I don't know what I would need for Aegis, but I'm assuming that I could, like, probably get a persona that has fast recovery for her. I just have to look up which one that is. Alright, yeah, this is the whole area.
We found a way down.
But yeah, Antique Shop is basically where I would be going to find stuff that I could get through there with. I would also have to buy a whole bunch more homunculus, but I can actually go ahead and buy, like, I can afford to buy a bunch more homunculuses. And I can get one for free. I hate buying them because they cost, like, so much that you, like, run out of the ingredients for them, like, real fast. So I'd much rather do, like, anything else other than buying them, but... we had a charged up magic attack, didn't we? For I guess the ultimate armor, Soul of Athens, has null all ailment effects. You need Thanatos hard item, Jaw of Steel to craft trade for it. That's a lot of stuff that I'd have to get. I don't think I've got the tools for that one just yet. This one's not... Okay. This one's not weak to anything, though, so... Do I want to just thwack it? Yeah, we'll just do this. We're just gonna hit these guys until they die. This is so irrelevant. Alright, I don't really need Meteorama here.
Nice work, everyone. We don't need to head back, right? Let's keep going.
I might as well heal, though. Yeah, instead of getting the ultimate armor for Aegis, it's possible for me to just, like, get a persona that would protect her against status effects, so it's not as relevant for me there. But, yeah, like, the fight with the Reaper would be fine if it weren't for the fact that he does status effects. Like, they're such a strong thing in this game. That's what really irritates me, that so many enemies are, like, immune to status effects, because, like, it takes away a really huge part of what you can use to, like, be more effective in this game. I can't use anything here. I'm just gonna block with the first two people. I kind of wish I could have gone first with Metis. That would have actually been better here. And I also do want to switch back to Loki, because I think I probably want to level him up. It shouldn't matter here. Status effects in the Reaper's moveset came as a surprise to you? Yeah. Well, I mean, the fact that they're so, like, powerful in this game, and he uses them so consistently, is what caught... It didn't catch me off guard. I kind of knew I was going to get my ass kicked by the Reaper the first time I fought him. But, yeah, like, it's such a hugely strong part of, like, his toolkit that not being able to bypass that actually really hurts you. There's not very many games where, like, getting hit by status effects is such a death sentence as it is in Persona. There probably are games that it's just as bad or worse, but, like, I mean, I can't think of any. I do miss the levels, though, where I could use, like, Tentarafu and it would actually do something instead of, like, everybody being constantly immune to it. Oh, wait, I should probably have actually used a real attack against these guys, because, like, he might get a double action. I don't know what his speed is compared to everyone else, but... You were originally expecting him to just attack? I can't remember, actually, if specifically the Reaper in the original one did fight differently. I kind of came into it without any expectations as to what he would do exactly. Because I couldn't remember.
What Junpei-kun said is pretty interesting. About how she's like a kid. I don't like that. I'm not a kid. Okay. Sorry.
Do you know what I would have really liked in this one? Is if, like, during the events of this, like, just before this was happening, like, Chidori got out of the hospital or something like that, if you managed to do the thing where she lives. And, like, she was just sort of, like, visiting Junpei or something, because it would just add, like, an extra layer of, like, dialogue. I wouldn't want her to, like, join the team or, like, fight alongside you or anything like that. But just having her sort of being along as an extra, like, voice or person to talk to and add another, sort of, like, perspective to things, or to have, like, more dialogue in general would have been fun. And it would also be a kind of nice, like, reward for players who managed to, like, get that particular ending as opposed to the other one. P3, he didn't have any ailment effects? Oh, he didn't? Okay. Yeah, no, I wasn't expecting anything from him, so I wasn't really caught off guard by that, because I couldn't remember what he could do, so I was just like, yeah, maybe this was in the original one, I don't know. Alright, let's do some damage here. Yeah, all my people who can do the stuff that I need here are slower. Alright. Hopefully we're still faster than them. We are not. This is a good time to pull out Loki. I think I'll switch. Yeah, I can imagine, like, if he's just going for attacks with just damage, it's a lot easier to itemize against him, so that would make him a lot easier to beat compared to what he is in this version. But I think, like, the Reaper needed some buffs, because he's kind of been a joke for quite a while. Like, he's been something people, like, just grind through to, like, get all those extra experience points off and stuff like that. So him being a lot stronger now is actually pretty justifiable, honestly. Eh. On the other hand, I don't know that they really thought through, like, just how much stronger they would make the Reaper if they gave him, like, all those status effects. Because holy crap, are they ever obnoxious. Okay, you were versus wind. Okay. We'll just do this so we don't get knocked over. And if we're faster than him with everybody, we should be able to kill this guy really, really easily. Well, encountering Death and Golden, I think, was mostly, like, voluntary. You mostly, like, you had a lot more choices to whether or not you even fought, like, Death. Whereas in, like, Persona 3, he could kind of come out and surprise you, I guess. Not really, but kind of. So I think that's kind of the difference there. They didn't really want to make, like, Death the thing that you were really expected to fight, I feel like. And then the original version of 5, he was, like, just a super easy thing to grind through. Well, that sucks. Okay, never mind, that's fine. Okay. How the hell? Really? Okay. I didn't expect that one that was, like, not weak to that to, like, die to that. Okay, Lovers is actually fine here. I don't really need max HP, but it's actually okay. Alright, I'm not super happy with this pick, but it's okay. More gold hands is good, I guess. I can get that instead of Fool. Yeah, he was kind of an anti-grinding measure. I don't really feel like he necessarily was in 5. Maybe he was. Because, like, grinding was made so much easier and so much faster that, like, to actually get death when you're grinding, you would have to just be, like, waiting for stuff to respawn. When you could actually just, like, keep warping back and forth, like, really easily, and it didn't really take you more time. Like, it was probably faster. Because, like, waiting for stuff to respawn actually took longer than just going to a new floor and killing everything, like, running it over. In Golden, he was, like, a deterrent to 2H for treasure chests? Yeah, kinda. I think almost in 4, like, in Golden, he was, like, more of an Easter egg than anything. In Persona 4, it seemed almost like you weren't really expected to have to fight him unless you really, really wanted to. I think 3 is the only one where he really worked as a like anti-grinding mechanic, which was funny because like 3 already had like a ton of anti-grinding mechanics in it. Like the real big thing for 3 that makes it anti-grind is basically just saying, yeah, you've only got this much SP. There's no like camp gear to like easily recover it all. Screw you if you want to like keep going. Let's see your wind. Okay. I kind of wonder if I can Akashic Arts this. Could get the, well, the problem with, like, the Reaper showing up immediately is that doesn't really teach you anything, like, or deter anything. It just sort of happens to you. Reaper chase you up the floors. Yeah, that does definitely make it feel like it's a lot more pressing. The problem with that is, like, it's actually pretty easy to trigger the Reaper on the dark floors, and once that happens, you, like, have the Reaper chasing you for umpteen million floors or whatever the hell until you teleport out or something like that. That's kind of annoying. Especially because, like, the dark floors are the ones where you can actually get Twilight Fragments. Again, makes that kind of annoying. Speaking of Twilight Fragments... That's more of a criticism, I guess, of the dark floors rather than the Reaper chasing you up the floors, though. Okay, I think this is the last time I'm going to try one of these stupid, no, whatever. This is the last Monad door I'm going to try coming up here, but... Alright, I guess I skipped out in the last time I could have done this. I'm just going to do this. It's not like I need it for the Monad door. Dark floors are high risk, high reward. Yeah, I mean, the thing about them is that you're 100% guaranteed to trigger the Reaper if you actually go for any of the Twilight Fragments, unless they just happen to be on your path. I guess the thing is you're expected to, like, run around them to collect all the Twilight Fragments while you're, like, getting chased by death. Oh god, that sucks so much. Okay. Do I want Dominion? I am looking to get... Actually, no, I don't need to do that anymore. I don't need to get Genbu anymore. Because I'm not doing that. I guess it doesn't matter which one I did keep, though, then. Alright, Megiddo, that's perfect. I want to get single target boost, though. We're going for the Monad door, so we don't need to split up. In fact, I just never asked them to split up because there's no point to it. I don't think I've ever once, like, found it beneficial to split up the group. Nope, that's not it. There it is.
Haven't we seen that door?
Okay, last try with one of these stupid doors giving me, hopefully, like, Fool or Priestess or both. It won't. It'll give me Temperance again, but... Oops, wait. I just realized. That's good enough. I don't need to be full health. We can just use some of our Theurgies if we really have to, but... Just having the next floor partially, like... Yeah, but it doesn't really even matter if your, like, floors are mapped out, honestly. I don't find that to be, like, a huge deal, so, like, to me it's just kind of a waste. I guess I'm taking all these theories and I'm gonna go out and I'm gonna go and use them on the boss fight, because I think we're gonna go try it. We're gonna see if we can go beat the boss. Honestly, Priestess probably doesn't matter here, because, like, we'll get to the boss and we'll find out it's immune to, or it doesn't have any weaknesses anyway, so we're never gonna get to use all out attacks on it anyhow. Okay, dead? Yes, okay. Next one.
Keep it together.
Hello, Koromaru.
I have to do this.
How's it going? I've got half of what your name is in here. Well, actually, no, it's K4N. I guess that's different. I'm used to seeing, like, people pairing together, like, Koromaru and Ken. So that's what I thought that said, but not as in, like, shipping. They just sort of work together a lot. Okay, just this.
Now's the time.
Eh.
Scared.
Well, that sucks. Okay.
How can I help my sister? Is she going to be okay like that?
Um,
Enemy eliminated. Ready for action.
Death Arcane shows, and if you draw it, summons a Reaper to every floor immediately upon entering until you leave and reset loadout.
What should I do?
I guess that would be actually a good way to, like, encourage people to, like, abandon whatever they're doing with their Arcanas.
That's a win for the team.
I don't know if that would be good for the game overall, but, like, I could definitely see what that would do. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, that's... love it. Okay, and I have to take one. Thanks, game. Okay, you know what? God, okay. We will take that just in case I decide to fuse something, I guess. But these are just... I don't... Oh, God, I don't care. Okay. That is just about the worst... Alright, whatever. Okay, I don't need Enduring Soul.
Oh, hello.
I think, didn't they used to have, like, negative cards in, like, the older version? I can't remember how Shuffle Time worked in the older ones very well. But I could have sworn there were negative cards, like, in the original Persona 3. Yeah, there was that. I think the problem was, like, they were too easy to avoid in the original one, or in the older ones. I found that, like, I never got those cards. Or at least I can't remember ever getting those cards. I probably did some point in time, but... I remember finding it pretty easy to avoid. Okay, well, my Arcanas suck. I'm just gonna leave and I'm gonna fight the boss and we'll see what happens.
Great.
Alright, whatever.
We have the upper hand. Do your best to take it down. This should be a good test of your strength. But don't get careless. Now's the time.
Let's just do this.
You struggle with this is my resolve.
Eh.
That's the last one. You're doing great, Aegis. 2 enemies defeated. Enemy eliminated. Nailed it.
I feel as well there's probably a good reason they got rid of the negative cards. Just on virtue of them being kind of like a punishment for people who are like, instead of like getting a reward that you would expect after winning a fight or whatever.
Should we go back just to be safe?
All right, let's go fight a boss and probably lose because I'm probably still a little bit behind level, honestly. I didn't get any level ups for that. All right. Oh no, I did talk to her. Okay. Akihiko, give me this. I should probably save my personas. I should go register. I haven't done that in a while.
Marvelous.
It'd be kind of nice if there was something that like would wipe out your existing major arcanons and make it so you couldn't redraw them. Like that would actually be kind of an interesting thing that you could get.
Very well.
All right, what was the actual quest, and can I actually do it right now? I think you're right. I think it was Daisojo though, and I did already buy the card for the Invigorate 3, so I can do that right away if that's what's up.
Good day. Are you accepting a request?
Okay, that's probably from a boss fight. That is an interesting idea. Oh no, interesting ideas. That sounds terrible. Let's see here. These are all for those sort of things. Okay, Automasu Kakaja. Yeah, it's Daisojo. And it is Invigorate 3. Okay. Can I get that right now? I think I might be able to.
Welcome to the Velvet Room. Now then.
What kind of person?
Divine Candlesticks is not a boss fight? Oh man, Monad Door Enemy. I view the Monad fights as boss fights, but I guess they're kind of not. Yeah, I guess that makes... Yeah. Okay, I got Daisojo here. So I can make it with Seiryu and Scatty, or I could do Hellbiker and Seiryu. I'm going to do Seiryu and Scatty.
Satisfied with it? Please choose what skills to inherit.
This this starts with Growth 3. What are all these assholes? Alright, whatever. I'm going to take Resolution, Concentrate, Megiddo, whatever. I don't really care.
So it begins.
I'm not really planning on using this guy that much, I don't think. I still haven't gotten a single error here. Fusion error. Probably because I don't fuse enough stuff, but still.
Have you
Kind of contemplating wanting to get Alice.
Acceptable?
Alice is always fun. Like, Die For Me is such a fun ability. I can afford that.
Please choose what skills to inherit.
Oh wait, am I losing, oh no. Yeah, Pixie, Lilum, Narcissus, and Titania. I'm not going to worry about this right now. Okay.
Very well.
I'll think about that later.
We look
Okay, so now I have to find my friggin' Invigorate 3. Daisojo is good. Like, the problem for me is, like, I don't like using instant kills because they, like, 90% chance to instantly kill feels really awful because it still, like, just misses all the time. And you can never use it against any of the actual difficult fights. Like, every difficult fight is immune to it, so it's like, why do I even have this? It's also really expensive for something that doesn't work. Like, the fights where it does work are ones where I don't really care if they live a little bit longer. Barring a few exceptions, like there are some exceptions to that, but for the most part, it doesn't really... I really hate how they work. Wait, where the hell? Let's make sure I give this to the right guy. This is supposed to be Daisojo. There we go.
good day. Are you accepting a request? Let's hear the result. How?
It's no easy feat to create a powerful Daisojo with this skill. Sure. It would appear that this task did an excellent job testing your power. Sure. I'm not going to tell her I cheated. None of you tell her that I cheated, please. Dear, it seems I've ended up complementing my own task making rather than your abilities. Please take this as your reward. Shujin uniform. Now they want a Koryu.
By all means.
I just have to have Koryu. Okay. Samsara, Hamabu, Spellmaster, Invigorate, 3, Life Aid, and Meldark. I can sort of see that, but I still, like, wouldn't really go for it. Just because, like, are there any bosses in this game that really are weak to Hama? And even then, I usually prefer using Alice and Die For Me for instant kill. If I really, really have to do that, I prefer Die For Me. It's not really cheating, it's using a resource that was available to you. Well, yeah, no, I mean, that's also true. I think she wanted me to, like, go through the convoluted mess of, like, fusing personas and stuff like that, instead of being, like, going to the store, it's like, can I solve this for $5? And the person being like, sure, you can solve this for $5. So I did that instead. Alright, I'm gonna get wrecked here. Okay, I walked into some kind of weird thing. These two are having some sort of moment. I should really leave them to whatever they're doing here. Samsara and Die For Me are two sides of the same coin. One is like, yeah, the problem is that Samsara is like kind of boring and like like Samsara is kind of boring and Die For Me is not. That's the sort of problem there. Damn it. Okay. So that guy's got high counter. So for bosses that the skill is actually working against, there was one you remember from the base game? Well, that sucked. Okay. What is going to be the gimmick of this fight here? This is going to probably be a bad fight in my reckoning here. Let's try and find, like, weaknesses first. I just have to, like, last of turn, I guess, but they're probably going to just immediately turn around and blow me up here. Monad fights you can sometimes instant kill. Oh, this guy's got regenerate. Well, shit. Well, double shit. Okay, he's not immune to everything. I thought he was gonna, like, be immune to everything or something like that. Okay, this guy's also not immune to everything. This still sucks, though. They're not weak to anything either. Okay, we're gonna do this. Okay, I'm probably gonna have to restart this fight, but we did just save, so it doesn't really matter that much. I wonder if they're immune to status effects. They probably are, almost certainly. Well, we did not charm them. And that guy recovers more health than I caused. Okay, I think we're dead here. Given how that guy worked, I think we can go ahead and do this. Oh, God. Okay. I do have the ability to windbreak them, but...
What's the best move? This is my resolve.
This could be another one of those situations where they're, like, immune to everything other than instant kills, basically. Like, these guys might be instant killable, who knows? Okay, that worked. I'm gonna Tetrakarn more stuff. If he had done a double hit there, that would actually would have probably killed him. Alright, we need to do this on Yukari. Because she apparently is one-shottable.
In this situation,
I'm gonna try and do a down... Do I have anything that does this? Yeah, there we go. Alright, and then we're gonna go ahead and just rock it in with Metis. I forgot to Rebellion her, that would have also been good.
activate. Ready to die?
This is not counterable, so this helps.
Those who hurt my sister. Answer to me.
Ooh, got a critical anyway. Okay. Well, shit.
What is optimal? No, I've already scanned this one.
I am kind of wondering if these guys are supposed to be susceptible to instant kills, but whatever. Alright. Hopefully he God's Hands Yukari, but
What do I do? Menace, watch your health. And now,
her being kind of immune to that is actually really good. Okay, because even though she got crit, like, she didn't go down, so... Alright, protected for another turn. Let's go ahead and do this. I guess I could use her ultimate, but not right now, I don't feel like. It's probably gonna get countered again, but whatever. Ooh, no, it didn't.
one enemy eliminated.
Alright, that got lucky. So we use Lightning, Light, or Dark.
What is optimal?
If we can get a stun here, that would be great. Okay, that's not that relevant.
Last one. Let's finish this.
I'm actually going to go ahead and do Tranquility here.
Unleash your power.
I think that in the long run, that'll be a little bit better.
This is my way.
Why is she doing that instead of Bufu? I guess that's just resist, but still.
It is time.
Feels like a weird choice given the circumstance. I feel like he blocks all the elements that he actually uses. Alright, Fuka, you could jump in anytime now. That would help.
In this situation,
I think Metis is out of the fight in a second.
thank you for your support. Persona!
That's still like 200 damage anyway. Alright.
All systems. This is my resolve. Focus.
Okay, damn. Okay. Not really that practical for me to keep doing that then.
Maybe they can use it now.
It's easy to keep up Makarkarn when I only have one person to cast it on, but if I have to cast it on everybody, it's a little bit trickier. Oh, well, I didn't actually want that. I wanted stats, funny enough, but oh well.
Just watch.
He doesn't really deal that much damage either, though, so...
What next?
Can I poison him?
Come. No way!
Hmm.
It is time. This is my duty.
I haven't shocked him yet, but that might just be down to luck. I don't know if he's immune to it. Ken's Divine Intervention. Ken's Divine Intervention is really good.
Same heavy damage. Menace, watch your health. And now, Persona.
It's probably like one of my it's probably my favorite of the support type ones. It's definitely my favorite of the buff class of support ones. He's immune to that one, actually. That's why she doesn't use that.
What is optimal?
Okay, that could potentially be bad, but whatever. Let's I don't think this guy has a lightning attack though, so at least there's that.
Pull the trigger.
Let's get another tranquility if we can, I think.
Thank you very much. What should I do?
I should actually just use items here, because, like, this is a good moment for it. Like, I could use this.
Use this. It is time.
Yeah, Ken's Divine Intervention, though, has been, like, something that's helped me throughout, like, a lot of boss fights. I'm glad I debilitated him. That actually would have sucked if I hadn't. Okay.
In this situation, I won't use.
Oh, I could have Tranquility here. It doesn't matter that much, though.
How can I help my sister?
The one hit Akasha Arts is pretty bad. Ooh, he is shockable. What the hell?
Will this work?
Mara Akasha I do have access to, but I don't actually find it to be that necessary here. I might be wrong, but actually I should probably Cyclone Arrow. Because he's got defense down, and we got attack up, and I've got charge. So this will do, like, 4 times as much damage as normal.
Just one more.
It's probably like 800 damage. More than that. Nice. Okay.
Now then.
I wish that was auto crit, but I guess because it has a duration, like, it's kind of fair that it doesn't, but still.
This is my
We are going to kill this guy. It's just going to take forever.
I'll end this. Help us. Call an enemy. Now's the time. I appreciate it. How can I help my sister?
Think I have to redo this now? Getting close.
It is time. Persona, engage.
Well, I'm already taking, like, little enough that I'm not dying, which is all I really care about. So, it's kind of fine.
System failure.
See, like, we're still alive. And that's all I really care about here. I would potentially use Divine Intervention here, but, like, it actually is better for me to just use Divine Retribution, because we're almost done. Well, this battle turned around okay. Like, I figured we were just going to test the waters to see what they had, but I think that we've got what it takes to actually beat them.
I have to do this. Thank you for your support. Now then.
Be best to actually just do this.
Summoning.
I could use... Nah. Really wanting another shock, but...
And now, just watch. Now's the time. I won't lose. I appreciate it.
kind of want to use just a... I don't want to use something like a debilitator. It's a little bit extreme. Were there single target versions of these? Not really. These are mostly party. Huh. Alright, well, let's do this.
What is optimal?
I'm actually going to go ahead and try and go for something here. I'm never lucky, but, you know, we're going to try. Ooh, we got it. Yep, got it. Okay. 100,000 experience points. What the crap? Gained acquire random instance card. Yeah, I don't care. Okay. Alright, we're up to level 76 now. All my personas leveled. This is gonna take a little while. Yeah, sure, whatever. I don't care. That's fine. Matt Gyrodine, let's replace that.
I'll be a better fighter with this.
Kogon, let's swap that.
Did I do a good job, sister?
That Theurgy can actually hit quite hard under the right circumstances. Huh. Survive a fatal blow with HP fully recovered. I don't really care about this, but... What would I replace in her case? Because I kind of want all the stuff that's on here. The closest would be Gyrodine, but having an extra person who's got like multiple elementals to go through, I actually think I get rid of Enduring Soul. I don't really care about that.
Hey.
What do you use that figure anyway? All it's ever done is try to get in our way. We can't stop. We can't afford to turn back now. Don't you think so? I guess we have to keep moving. I agree.
Yeah.
I'm glad you understand. Sorry, I won't hold us up any longer. Let's hurry. Okay.
Oh,
Godspeed shoes for guys. I wonder if that's just for Junpei. I would assume that's probably a Junpei item, but... Oh no, okay. High physical evasion. That's pretty good. Not sure if it's better. Antimatter cannon. Okay. Pierce boost. Oh yeah. Justice multi-target boosts, Pierce boost, Pierce amp, at pupil, crit rate, amp, raise attack charge, lowered enemy defense, and attack stat of 99. Yeah, no, that definitely would. I'm mostly looking for it for its ability to down the enemy, so all I really care about is like the apt pupil. I would like to also get like someone with apt pupil and the crit rate boost, but I don't have that combination right now, but he does also have Rebellion, so I can also use that to get that guaranteed, but... Okay. I'm going to go to the bathroom real quick. I will be right back in just a little bit here. Alright, and we're back. Part of me wants to actually continue down a little bit further. Not 100% sure that I should. Yeah, I saved. Let's go see what the next floor looks like. I want to at least see if there's a new design, because I hope there is, but there probably won't be. Also, there's a very real chance that we go down here and there's just no more, like, stuff. Like, I'm just getting to the next, like, little gold sand dune area. No. Mess said the reason for all this happening has something to do with us. And that dark freaker up ahead, it... Anyway, we'll learn what's really going on soon enough. Just keep going.
Gotta keep moving.
These guys will actually fight me.
It's a shadow.
Let's see how strong we are compared to what we were before, because these should be kind of similar.
Enemy is vital. It'll take a little more time.
Yeesh. Okay, that sucks. Let's take a quick guess at things here, but also I'm gonna go ahead and hit this because I don't really care to fight this. This is probably criticals. Oh no, they're weak. Okay, never mind. I guess I really don't need to retreat this one. Well, maybe I do. That's not very much hit points.
Shall I take charge?
Um,
I'm all ready to go.
how do I want to shift this? Let's get back to Ken.
I'll end this.
Do not advance to the final fight of this block without tying up those loose ends. Oh. Yeah, I kind of figured that we were in the last block. Yeah, I'm not that surprised. Well, I have a hard save, so it doesn't really matter, honestly, that much. They're weak to all physical, I think. These guys are weird. Okay, whatever. Well, before I could even retreat. The fact that it wouldn't have some sort of in-between thing, though, is kind of surprising to me, because usually in this game, it's like, you'll reach an area and it'll be like, oh yeah, this is like your last chance to save and stuff like that before the blah, 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 blah. So the fact that it just dumps you automatically into something is kind of weird, but... Oh well. Like I said, though, I don't really care to do all of Elizabeth's quests here. I'm not really that interested in getting all that done. Oh, that one's got a aspect on him.
Shadow's different.
Gold hand. Is the other guy gonna fight me after this? The other guy might fight me after this.
Do your best to take it down. Help us. Call an enemy.
Crit, please. Well, that sucked. Okay.
Down by a monsoon.
These guys probably reflect everything. I don't have anything great right now other than Megiddo.
Aegis, here I go. This is my resolve.
I need someone that's got Dark and Megiddo, and I don't think I've got that combination. This one's Medium Almighty. This one's Heavy Almighty. I guess we go this, and I just do this. Yeah, I don't know if I really want to stick this one out here. I don't know if it's worth it. When I don't have any theurgies. Like, if I had the ability to use the succubus thing, that would be fine. Yeah, it does, but I haven't done it, so, like, I just have to sort of power through these. Because I wouldn't know who to give it to, honestly. Like, that's kind of the thing.
What's the best move?
Do I want to get reflected on here? Not really. Hope for a crit. Nope. Okay, so Amada's gonna be doing that, which, you know, fine, whatever. That's fine. I can Cyclone Arrow here, and hopefully that kills him. And if it doesn't, hopefully the Megiddo that we were about to do does. Nope, we got him. Okay. So Menace will recover, and after that we can just use Dark skills, because it doesn't matter at that point. This also doesn't matter. Okay. And I can do stuff like Akasha Arts now. Okay. Yeah, I didn't think I'd quite have enough time to get all that done, but apparently I did. I don't really care about Samarakarm. Surprised that guy didn't come up and attack me from behind there.
We better watch our step. Sister, a shadow.
Okay, I want to get a teleporter to get out of here, because apparently I'm not supposed to beat this yet.
The enemy is wide open. Still setting up.
Probably light.
Let's go.
Like, I guess I could use Samsara here against these guys, but I don't really want to, because they're, like, almost dead hit point-wise. So, like, Samsaraing them would feel like I'd be spending more experience, or more SP to get the same results. Like, I'd rather just Koga them again. I don't know, though. Or Cash Arts them. And then I get reflected 3 times and instantly die or whatever. Or blocked, okay. But that doesn't kill me, so, like, that's fine. I guess I can see what this looks like, because I plan on leaving this place actually about now, so let's see what the animation looks like. Yeah, it's just not as fun as Die For Me. Like, Die For Me is just a more interesting spell to cast. They both kind of suck, but, like, you know... One of the two of them looks like they're having fun, and it's not Samsara. It's quite a lot of experience points on that one.
I'll always give my all for my sister. I have to be helpful to my sister. That's my only purpose.
Oops. Okay. Looking for the teleporter, but might not find one.
Look, there's a shadow.
Personally, I prefer reloads a little bit less than Royal. I like Royals a little bit more, I guess I should say. This is the easier way to say it. But they're pretty close. I like them both. Ah, there we go.
Take us back to the entrance, but I can keep going.
Okay. Been finding the boss fights easier than, like, the regular floor dudes. Okay, how much do I care about doing, like,
Are you accepting
all this crap? This is too much. There's too much here. Come on. Okay. So... Savage Shadow might be one of those level 99 Indolent Mayas. That sounds like that would be an unfun fight for me, though. A lot of these are just find items. These are not, like, necessarily too bad. Like, I would eventually get these if I just fought enough stuff, I feel like. I don't remember what floors I'd have to be on, but, you know, that's fine. Automatic Kakaja, like, that's going to be a little bit difficult for me to figure out, but that's not too bad. I'd probably just have to look that up, honestly. This one would be really, really easy. This one doesn't even require me to have anything. I know Koryu actually requires me to get a whole bunch of stuff that I don't have, but that's fine. Like, I could do it. I don't really know where to get Blazing Greatsword. 3842. What's that even mean, though? What's 3842? Because they don't have these things numbered in the normal way. Do you mean, like, this area? Empyrean? The request details will spell out which block you can find them in. Oh, did they? Yeah, I never actually checked the request details of those, because I sort of assume I'll just passively always get them.
Await a report of success.
Monad, Doran, Empyrean. Yeah. Judica. Ptolemea. Wait, how come some of these are from, like, further back? What the heck? Okay, well, whatever. Either way, I'm done down here for, I think, the moment. So let's leave.
Hold up.
No new dialogue? Really? None. Okay. I guess I'm not that surprised. Just a little bit disappointed. This is what I was saying, like, it'd be kind of nice if, like, you actually managed to, you know, prevent her from dying. It'd be really nice if Chidori was in here. Just to provide, like, a little bit more dialogue conversation. Have somebody, like, talking a little bit about something.
Welcome.
Okay, Tower Casual Potato, Medicinal Amaronian, Charged Herb, Deflecting Herb.
Take your time. Please come again.
I really would like to know what actually is the catalyst for, like, plants actually growing there. Alright, can I get a Blazing Sword at least?
Welcome. Come on in. Creating a. What would you like?
Let's see here. There's the Divine Black Tights. I need the Shadow Lipstick, and I think I get that from Scatty? I do have access to Scatty. I would have to do something to make it so I could level her quickly so I can get, like, multiple Shadow Lipsticks. Because I only need one, because the only person I need that for is Yukari.
What would you like? You've come at a good time. There is some new
Light
items you
evasion.
can trade. What would you like? What would you like?
Where the hell's the Blazing Sword for...
Will it be?
I would have thought that Blazing Sword would have been one of these ones. Yeah, I'm wondering, maybe it's, like, something really early. I'm also just looking for, like, items that I could use here otherwise,
What
but...
would you like? What would you like?
There it is. Oh, wow, that's really early.
Here you go. Thanks for waiting.
And obviously I wouldn't actually want any of these things, though, for use.
I'm sure this will go on. Look around.
Oh, I can actually buy diamonds now.
Go on. Look around.
I might want to actually get this now just so I can take out the hands a little bit easier, but I still usually want to just use the theurgies for those. I don't know if that's the best way to go about it, but that's what I usually do. I wish that this was actual immunity or something like that. I wish there was actual better ways to get, like, ailment immunity instead of resist ailments, because, like, resist ailments doesn't really do anything. I could take critical rate boost and put that on that one guy. Yeah, I'll pick that up. I don't know if I'll equip it yet, because we may actually... What I may do is I may get, like, something else. Like, I may get that other, may evolve him into someone else that's a little bit better at physical combat. Because, like, as good as Dionysus seems to be at, like, getting the criticals, there's probably someone who's got, like, better physical stats. Better physical attacks as well. Let's just go throw the Blazing Sword in there, and what we'll actually do is I'll save, and we'll switch over games now, because, like, there's not a lot that I can do right now, I don't feel like.
Good. Here are my requests. Wonderful.
Just gets me an Endure, that's fine. Bring me Gaia's Grace, okay. Bring me Hazakura.
By all means.
Why don't I just go back and check to see if I can find a Hazakura at the mall?
Well, then.
Instead of, like, doing that. We'll just try and get a couple of these done now, I guess. Since I can go freely back and forth, there's no reason not to. I'm terrible with names. I should have actually been more careful looking at what that was. Hazakura.
Welcome. So, what will it be?
Honorable Kunai. Nope.
What will it be?
Tyrant's Knife. Nope.
So, what will it be? What would you like? So, what will it be? What would you like?
Elemental Mask. Nope.
What would you like? So, what will it be?
Hazakura. Okay, I need another Soul Seed Droplet. I can just buy those, can't I?
Go on, look around. How many?
That was a droplet, right?
We have a deal. Which one?
Archetype
What would you
Shard, I
like?
think? Hazakura. Okay.
Thanks for. Is that all you need? Come again.
Okay, the fact that I'm getting quests for, like, items that are way the hell down there in the chain tells me, like, I probably have a lot more of those quests to do. So this is probably going to be a short little bit of me doing this back and forth. It's what I get for not, you know, keeping up on this bullshit.
Good. Are you accepting a wonderful?
Multi-target boosts. That one is actually really good. Aristocracy, we already got that. Circe's Bow, we've already got one of those. Okay, now we got Pandemonium.
By all means.
Did I see that at the store?
Very well.
I could have sworn I saw that just in the regular store, didn't I? Probably not, but I thought I did. It's nothing past 59. I feel like I've already done more than 59. I probably haven't, but you know.
Well, look, I got some stuff you might find useful.
Nope, there is no Pandemonium here. Okay, what is this though? Megiddo Fire. The fact that this doesn't change your gun's damage to Megiddo is really kind of annoying to me. I really think that it should. Which might sound like that would be really strong, and it would be in some ways, but like the problem with that would be I don't think that would be allowed critical. So while you would do damage to everything, you would never get like the critical part of it, and you'd never get weaknesses or whatever, so.
What will it be?
Oh, Pandemonium's all the way over here. Shit. All I need is 2 Soul Seed drops. I'm running out of the resource needed for that, though. Although I can get more there from the exchange. Oh no, those are Soul Seed drops, not Soul Seed droplets, aren't they?
What would you like?
How do I get Soul Seed drops? Shit.
Everything good? Hope to see you soon.
God damn it. Okay, Persona. Hell's Muffler. I'm hitting the wrong button every time. Fetching Hero Comb. These guys all have uniques. I've got the wrong sort of stuff here. Soul Seed Droplet. That's again wrong. Also, what the hell happened to my Scatty? Didn't I have one? Soul Seed Droplet. Okay, I guess we have to go check with, the bloody register or something if I've got any of the stuff that I can get here. Alright, this is annoying. Whatever, it's fine.
Welcome to the Velvet Room.
Okay. Do we actually see something with Soul Seed Drop, or am I going crazy here?
Registration. This is your progress so far. Please take a look.
Soul Seed Driblets.
This persona, yes?
I feel like it's probably, like, level related. And I've mostly already got, like, the higher level stuff in my register, so... The ones with the drop are probably, like, the really high level stuff. Okay, so let's look at fusions, dyad fusions. Actually, no, we'll do it this way.
This would be a wise choice.
Crystal King's Tooth. The problem with these guys have the unique stuff.
This one is somewhat beneath you.
Like the Immortal Angel Core, for example, instead of whatever.
This one is somewhat beneath you.
Okay, Callie has Soul Seed drops. Okay, so I'd have to level up Callie and be very careful about it. I also need to go back down to, like, really low levels because I have to get some stuff for special fusion so I can get access to Koryu. Because I don't have Genbu, I don't have Suzaku, and I don't have Byakko. Which I'm assuming are all dragons or whatever. Personas from mid-70s and onwards seem to have unique card items. Most of them do, yeah. But I'm not looking for a unique one. Is Soul Seed Drop's not unique, is it? If only Callie has that, that'd be really interesting. That'd be kind of strange. It might be easier if I did it with someone lower level if I could.
Somewhat beneath you.
Yeah, so, like, Gabriel's also Soul Seed Drop.
This one is somewhat beneath you.
So's Kakuri Hime. Kakuri Hime might actually be easier to level since she starts off at a lower level.
Are you satisfied with this? Are you satisfied with this?
Yeah, there seems to be a bunch at around this level.
This one is somewhat beneath you. Are you satisfied with this?
So I want to see what the lowest level one that has that is.
Somewhat beneath you.
Okay, Atropos still has Soul Seed Drop.
Are you satisfied with this?
Down to 56 and it still has Soul Seed Drop.
Are you
We needed Suzaku, didn't we? This also has Soul Seed Drop. This might actually be the perfect pick. Let's double check though. It was Suzaku, right? I thought it was all gonna be all dragons for Koryu, but yeah, okay. So this is probably actually gonna be the 4 directional things. So it's probably like a dragon, a cat, a turtle dragon, which I think is what Genbu is. And the Phoenix. So that's probably what Koryu is. Okay. Yeah, so Suzaku and Byakko would both be good picks, and Suzaku has got the Soul Seed Drop. And I don't see Byakko anywhere here, so... I don't love these mixes of what gets me this, but I can afford to get rid of some of the stuff here. I think we can get rid of Daisojo and Kukulane for now. Genmu's more like a turtle. Yeah.
This one is somewhat what do you wish to inherit?
He's like a turtle with a snake for a tail or something like that, right? I think in this circumstance, I actually really want growth 3. Hmm.
So it begins.
Growth 2 and 3 stack. I don't really know if I need both per se, but I'm gonna do that because I want to level up fast with this stupid thing. Or do I have? Yeah, I know, because I need the drop. This is what I'm doing this for in the first place. Okay, so that's going to be one of them. Getting Genbu is going to be the hard part. Like, just the level 30, because I'm, like, so past that, but we'll figure out something for that in a little bit, I think. For now, I'm going to call this a day for Persona, and probably switch over. Okay, so this is good, though, because this gives me both this stupid bird thing, plus I also get to level up the Soul Seed drop, so that's perfect. And this will level up really, really fast, I think. I believe these also stack with actually using this, so I can probably level this up really, really fast. Which is all I really care about with it, so yeah, that's fine. Yeah, we'll equip it. Okay. The problem is I need to, like, freeze it just before I get the Soul Seed drop, like that moment before I get it. Go back, register it, and if I get in any fights on the way back, it'll accidentally level because of growth 2 and 3, and I'll be like, because I don't want it to actually level before I register it, so I can pull it out of the register and get it back just so I can get, like, farm for Soul Seed drops. So, there is that. Suzaku will become Soul Seed drop farm. Yeah, that's what I'm aiming for. Yeah, basically. In any event, though, yeah, I'm going to switch over games now. I'm going to start playing Attorney of the Arcane. Which, more so than normal, I have been playing an awful lot of Persona 3 this week, actually. Because of how much time I was spending. I forgot that when I do this, it does something. Alright. For some reason, when I activate another game, like, it automatically assumes, like, I'm done playing Persona 3, so it disconnects my controller, which is not how that should work. But whatever the hell. I don't know. Where the hell did I put this? Here. Yeah, so I'll have to figure out how to fuse Genbu, like what sort of stuff I need to get that, because I'm way over leveled to get a Genbu. I should technically be going for this one, right? Okay, so my recollection is a really angry elitist teacher who was yelling at us in the library, went to this place, which is an empty classroom because there was some problem with smell, got murdered by a necromancer, and we were in the library with the culprit who was, there during the lockdown, but could have been out of it for an hour, except he couldn't have been because there was the locked doors. Okay, we've done all that. Okay, so I think I remember roughly what was going on here. Okay, we left this one in a real state of in medias res. Okay. Let's head to the headmaster's office. Follow the map that Steelman gave us, arriving at the headmaster office. Oh, hello there. I wasn't expecting guests today. Elderly man rose to greet us, his hand trembling as he walked towards us with the support of his cane. His face was wrinkled, but his eyes were sharp. His expression held the wisdom of life long lived. In other words, he's old. Is he the same as this person? No, their eyes are different, unless they've got that mirrored for some reason, which wouldn't make any sense on that picture. I recognize his voice. He's the one who made those announcements during the lockdown. His face is also like the wrong structure, but that could just be because he's older. I don't know. Sorry for coming unannounced. You must be. My name is Theodore Redmond. I'm the headmaster of the Weaver Guard Imperial Academy. Okay. Elder headmaster of the Weaver Guard Imperial Academy. He appears to be close to Wallace and he facilitated his students in necromancy. He facilitated his studies in necromancy. Interesting. Judging for your appearance, you must be the protege of Ruby Tamora. To what do I owe the pleasure? They must be here to investigate the murder. This is Eris? Okay, the illusionist. Wait, Eris? I thought you went to see Wallace. Unfortunately, the Inquisition is questioning him right now. They aren't allowing visitors. He must be so scared right now. I hope he's okay. Right, she had the same experience not too long ago. Can't believe this is happening. Why in the Lord's name did they arrest Wallace? Anti-necromancer prejudice, I guess? This is terrible. I think that one of my prize students would be accused of murder. We heard your voice in the intercom when the lockdown happened. Are you the one who triggered it? Yes, I activated it when I received the call from Valentina. She reported that Professor Bellwether was collapsed and unresponsive. Headmaster activated the Academy's lockdown system response to receiving a call from security. This call reported that Catherine Bellwether had been fatally wounded. How does the lockdown system work? It's an artificial network that's built into the walls of the entire academy. In the event of an emergency, I can activate it using this stone. Headmaster pulled out a glowing stone from his desk. I hear the hum of magical energy emanating from it. Once activated, the system creates magical barriers throughout the building. It is designed to contain and protect... is it designed to secure, contain, and protect each room in the building? Could a powerful mage breach any of those barriers? I doubt it. The barriers can withstand a great amount of force. They even block mages from teleporting through them. And once activated, even I can't turn it off for an hour. Academy's lockdown is a system of artificery that covers the entire academy building. Once activated, it creates magical barriers that isolate and protect each room in the building. These barriers can't be breached with physical or magical force. They also block mages from teleporting through them. So, this is going to be relevant because of the way that the timing is going to work. Would he have been able to get into the library again with the thing? And that's going to be like the thing we have to put in contention, probably. Okay. Wallace Nightgrave. What can you tell me about Wallace? Earlier you said that he was one of your prize students. We also heard that he's a necromancer. I just need to understand if that's really true. You are correct. Young Wallace is a necromancer. What? But why would he study something like that? Necromancy is probably one of the most dangerous and most scrutinized schools of magic. Its image has been tainted by myths of dark wizards raising armies of the undead. However, it doesn't just control the forces of death, it also controls the forces of life. There's a weird... You can tell that this person plays certain editions of D&D based on that, and I think it's mostly 2nd edition. When that was sort of the case, they removed that by 3rd. And, like, it is purely a D&D sort of thing. Like, life and death both being under necromancy as a school is purely certain editions of D&D. It doesn't actually make any sense to me for those to be related. Forces of life. The truth is that healing magic is also classified as necromancy. Yeah, see, like, it got moved to Conjuration in, I believe, 3.5, 3.0. And has been in there ever since. And some people think that it should be a necromancy because they think that, like, necromancy should control life forces. I disagree with that. Just on account of, like, what necromancy actually should be is just purely about death. Most healers don't care to admit because of what the stigma it has, but that's why Wallace is studying it. He wishes to become a doctor. There are plenty of mages who know healing magic. Why is Wallace being singled out? For years he's been studying necromancy beyond the basic healing spells. He believes that high-level necromancy could revolutionize modern medicine. Unfortunately, many among the faculty don't see it that way. Wallace doesn't hail from any of the noble houses. He was abandoned by his parents at an orphanage, presumably to avoid a scandal. He's like me. Many of the faculty fear that he'll use his knowledge to raise armies of undead, just like the necromancers of fiction. Is that any worse than, like, Wizard goes rogue and, like, flings fireballs into, like, crowded town or whatever? Like, I don't know. The Imperial Academy isn't even permitted to teach students beyond basic healing magic. Then why did you allow him to study it? After everything that's happened to him, I made an exception even if I was breaking the law. What happened to him? I'm not at liberty to say more. Wallace's spell compendium. If you plan on defending Wallace, will you need his spell compendium? Yes, having Klein's compendium is instrumental to acquittal. Then. You may find that a bit difficult. After a certain incident, he destroyed his compendium. What? Why would he do that? Does he need it to cast his magic? A spell compendium is a device we use to keep track of what spells we can cast. It's really convenient for remembering the formulas and incantations of my spells, but it's not actually required to use magic. I thought of getting rid of mine a long time ago, but they're really expensive. Luckily, I have an unattuned spell compendium right here. I'd be more than happy to give it to you if it helps Wallace. Oh, thanks. Wallace just needs to maintain physical contact with it for 10 minutes. After that, the compendium will tune to his magic and update in real time. So this is a lot less like the way that like wizards work, but whatever, that's fine. Just make sure they don't let another mage like Celeste hold it. Once it tunes to a mage, no one else can use it. Wait, then how did... Okay, so the thing that he was about to ask is like, then how did she manage to hold on to it for so long without it being attuned to her? She's using her illusion magic to mess with me. Wonderful, I just hope you can persuade Wallace to attune to it. So... An unattuned spell compendium. If a mage keeps this on their person for 10 minutes, it will attune to their magic and display what spells they can cast. Once it tunes to a person, it can't attune to anyone else. Yeah. So the question then is, like, how did she hold on to it? She's definitely a mage, because she is casting illusions on me, like, right now. Catherine Bellwether. What can you tell me about Catherine Bellwether? Nothing kind, I can tell you that much. Wow, that was a whole mess of emotions. Truth be told, she was rather unpleasant to work with. Can you think of any enemies she might have had? Might as well list anyone who didn't hail from the four pillar families. I kind of wonder, like, when did the illusion end? Like, when did Eris stop putting an illusion over what I'm doing? Eris. You know, one of the things about murder mysteries is that, like, the person who gets murdered always has to be somebody who, like, draws the ire of a great many people for some reason, so that, like, you've got a situation set up where them getting murdered, there's a lot of suspects. But it does almost always mean that, like, the person who gets murdered is a bit of a jackass. So you can't help but feel, like, just to a very small degree, that you're like, well, maybe if they died, that wasn't really such a bad thing. It's best not to beat around the bush with these sorts of things. As I'm sure you saw this morning, Ashfalt was probably less abrasive than her personality. Many people in the school did not care for her. Maybe she wasn't the nicest person, but would that really be enough to motivate someone to murder her? She'd often target and harass students, especially those who were commoners. She made a habit of expelling those students with for the smallest infractions. For commoners, magic can be your ticket out of poverty. I can't imagine how it would feel to have that opportunity unfairly ripped away from you. She was akin to a Grim Reaper, hanging over the student body, waiting to steal away their futures. I don't know how that would really work, because I think the headmaster would be able to just countermand what she's saying. Just be like, no, up yours. You're not getting rid of all these students. The human psyche can only be pushed so far, says the illusionist, yeah. What about her relationship with the faculty? In some cases, it was worse than it was with the students. She'd often treat the staff like her personal servants. I received many complaints from them about her behavior, but I was powerless. Why would... because she's her noble family or whatever. He's probably from some random-ass family that isn't that important, which is weird, because you'd think you wouldn't get to this position if that was the case. She's a close friend of the Duke of Finance. She's used her position to curry favor with the noble houses over the years. As you can imagine, the Academy's board is controlled by the nobility. If I ever tried to remove her, there would be dire consequences. You could ignore her, though. Catherine Bellwether had a tense relation with just about everyone in the Academy. She had a history of bullying students from the common folk and mistreating the Academy staff. For several years, she used her position to curry favor with the noble houses. The meeting. I heard that you had a meeting scheduled with Professor Bellwether this morning. What time was this, and when did the meeting end? Our meeting was scheduled for noon. She arrived on time, and our meeting lasted until 1 p.m. Did anything seem off about her to you? No, she seemed to be her usual self. Her usual insufferable self. If you don't mind me asking, what was the purpose of your meeting? We met to discuss routine administrative matters. Despite our personal disagreements, we met to stay civil when discussing professional affairs. But to be perfectly honest, it did always feel like I was treading on eggshells when speaking with her. But you were her superior, weren't you? Didn't she respect your authority? No, she didn't. We had many arguments about how I was managing the Imperial Academy, and she was very vocal about her distaste for the students accepted through my scholarship program. She was difficult, to say the least. Okay, that's all that. Looks like some sort of professor. Professor Lucas Gilbert. He was an instructor here many decades ago. He was quite the accomplished scholar and well beloved by the students here. This was all despite his lack of magical ability. That's interesting. He studied without magic without being able to use it. Yes, he was quite remarkable. Unfortunately, we lost him to illness very early in his career. There's a fireplace with some burning wood. Looks pretty cozy. Small table for guests. Is that wine? No, actually it's just apple juice. Most of my guests are students after all. More apple juice back there. It's a painting of a mage, but he doesn't quite look like a noble. That's Jason Steelwind, one of the chosen mages of the Scaled Lord. One of the Steelwinds, huh? Wait, Steelwind? As in, yes, he's the earliest recorded ancestor of House Steelwind. Legends say that the Scaled Lord bestowed his power upon him and his allies to create the first mages. Wow, it's hard to tell that he and the prosecutor belong to the same bloodline. As with all the noble houses, House Steelwind has quite humble beginnings. If only they'd remember where they came from. There's a window with a view of the garden. The headmaster has a nice view from up here. It's a fancy-looking chandelier. Looks like everything. Okay. Should we try the dungeons or should we try the kitchen first? Let's try the dungeons. Still questioning we should come back later, so I guess we do the kitchens next. Hello, is anyone here? Be right there. Sorry, but the cafeteria is closed right now. Which one of the twins are you? I can't tell. Actually, we're here to investigate what happened to Catherine Bellwether. We heard that 2 members of the kitchen staff discovered the body. Her posture tends to the mention of Bellwether. Oh, that would be me. That one's Valentina, okay. Valentina Yanis, kitchen staff, age 19, works at the kitchen staff of the Imperial Academy. She works alongside her sister, Valerie. Seems to be on edge due to the Bellwether murder. She's the head chef of the kitchen. She's close to my age. I knew how picky nobles were, and I'd imagine that their children would be worse. For a cooking fit their standards, that was impressive in and of itself. How about your sister? Do you know where she is right now? I'd like to get her statement, too. She's somewhere else on campus right now. If you're with those knights, we've already told them everything we know. Actually, we're investigating separately from them. I want to ask you some questions about what you saw. Sure. I'm going to have to remember. There are so many details. What was that just now? What did you see? Can you tell us what happened when you and your sister discovered the body? Right. My sister and I were heading to the west exit. We saw a professor in a nearby classroom. She was lying on the floor in a pool of blood. It really scared me seeing her like that. I used an emergency communication device to call for help. While I was doing that, my sister tried to wake her up. Was the professor still alive? I don't know, but she wasn't breathing and she didn't have a pulse. So that was probably a sign that she's dead. She was less tense, which might imply that she was telling the truth. It's possible the attack happened well before they discovered the body. What do you know about the suspect in this case? His name is Wallace Nightgrave. He's a student here. He's that scary necromancer, right? The one that makes zombies? Those are just rumors. He wants to be a doctor. But he studies necromancy. Have you ever actually gotten to know him? No, but I've heard the rumors. He's always hanging around the cemetery. I'm sure he's just biding his time, waiting for his chance to raise an army. You do realize that, like, other people also raise armies. And they are also evil scum, so I guess you've got a point there. Yeah, okay, sure. Well, fair enough. Well played. Couldn't be helped that people thought of him that way. I still wasn't sure what to make of all this. Catherine Bellwether. What can you tell me about Catherine Bellwether? Nothing good if that's what you're looking for. Yet another set of negative emotions. Just tell us the truth. I don't think we talked to anyone who had anything nice to say about her. So, yeah, she was a horrible person. She was really terrible to everyone. That included the academy staff. She always treated us like her personal servants. Sometimes she'd make messes on purpose just so she could order us to clean it up. I thought the kids from the noble houses were bad, but she was something else. She acted like she owned the place, but she wasn't even from the noble family. The only reason why she had any power was because of her friends on the school board. Interesting. Why would she be worried about that? You ever feel like your job was at risk because of Bellwether? Why would you say that? I was just a hunch. Yeah, well, you're wrong. I, for one, plan to work here until the day I die. Haha. She's clearly lying, but maybe best to keep that to myself for now. Celeste, this room is close to the crime scene. Could you cast Detect Magic and scan for magic traces? Sure. Did you just say scan for magic traces? Oh, I'll just get out of your way then. She's got some magic traces on her then. Oh, she can run pretty fast. What was that about? She has magic traces on her. We need to go find her. There's a set of pots for cooking soups and the like. Cool. There's a large sack of produce in the corner. There's some wine here, too. Must be for cooking, or the professor's. They must serve the students' meals on these plates. It's a shame that they had to close the kitchen due to the investigation. There's a rack of cooking implements hanging from the wall. Several commonly used ingredients are close to the cooking area. Let's see here. It looks like a haunch of ham. We got sausages, garlic, onions, lavender. Looks like thyme, chili peppers. Interesting that there's chili peppers, but this does actually seem fairly like 1800s-ish, actually, so... There's a large cooking station here. They must have prepared the meals in bulk here. Barrel full of some sort of drink. I wonder. It's probably not lotus juice, Celeste. Oh, it's a plate of bread. They probably serve these sides to the entrees. Don't get any ideas, Tyrion. What? Remember when we went to that fancy restaurant? You just kept ordering breadsticks and butter? The bread is free. I might as well take advantage of it. You know, eating that many carbs isn't good for you. It's not as if I'm gaining any weight. Weird. I've never had that problem either. Probably because Tyrion is actually quite poor because he refuses to charge his customers enough. Just like Phoenix Wright. Okay, I don't see any magic here. Let's see if we can go hunt down that person that ran away here. Spotted Valentina again. She's speaking to someone in a blue-collar uniform. I'd only met her briefly in the kitchen, but there's something different about her posture. This is Valerie. And then there's the man in the uniform. Could it be the custodian that she had as approached? I noticed he was slouched over. He barely looked awake. Even while speaking to Valentina, he was sweeping the floor. However, his movements look robotic. He's just going through motions without any awareness. Is he dead? Yeah, and I know you're tired, but you really need to fix the plumbing in the kitchen sinks. Ugh, someone just died. Can't we take the day off for once? I'm sorry, but Valentina and I still need to cook for the students. Wait, why is Valentina suddenly speaking in third person? Oh, hello? Valentina? Oh, my apologies. I'm not Valentina. I'm her sister, Valerie. Yeah, she works alongside her sister, Valentina. She's softer spoken when compared to her sister, but she also seems to be on edge due to Bellwether's murder. Are you trying to trick us or something? You look exactly the same. I remember reading about something like this before. You two are identical twins, aren't you? Yes, that's correct. Wait, this means that she was the one who discovered the body alongside Valentina. Since we have you here, do you mind if I ask you some questions about what happened? I am wondering, because the only time we've seen them as a separated pair is when they're together, and they talk to Bellwether, I think, simultaneously. I'm terribly sorry, but I've already spent a lot of time looking for Yan here. I'm really behind on my work, but Yan was also nearby when we discovered the body. I'm sure he can answer your questions. But before I had a chance to object, Valerie quickly walked away. Oh, wait. Do you want me to go after her? Sure. I'm pretty sure I can catch up to her. No, we don't want to scare those two more than we already have. Alright, Valerie said that Yan was nearby when the murder happened, so maybe he saw something he didn't. Occupation, custodian, age 36. Custodian who works at the Imperial Academy. Looks exhausted. Looks like he's struggling just to stay awake whenever I talk to him. Yan, was it? Do you mind if we ask you some questions about what happened? Ugh, really? Well, whatever. At least I have an excuse to take a break now. So, Yan, are you part of the staff here? Yep, I'm a janitor. I clean and I do odd jobs here and there. Well, apparently that's all he had to say about that. Valerie mentioned that you were close to Lecture Hall 2B before you found Bellwether. What were you doing when the twins discovered the body? I was cleaning the halls. Bellwether knocked over a vase. There were shards and dirt everywhere. Wait, you saw the professor before the twins arrived? Yeah, like I said, she broke the vase right in this hallway. It was probably 20 to 30 minutes before the twins found the body. Might have been the last person to see her alive. Did you see where she went after breaking the vase? Yeah, I think she went into that room over there. Yan pointed towards Lecture Hall 2. I wonder if I'm supposed to be pronounced this Yan or Jan. You see anyone else enter the lecture hall? I'm honestly not sure. I was more worried about cleaning up the mess she made. Well, did you notice anything off about her? She was in a pretty bad mood, but honestly, that's pretty normal for her. She was walking really slowly. I didn't notice her at first. She basically shoved me out of the way. After that, she knocked over that vase. Then she yelled at me, "Be quiet." I didn't even say anything. Okay. What can you tell me about Catherine Bellwether? I heard that she had a pretty bad relationship with the staff. She had a bad relationship with everyone. Students, the other teachers. I can't think of many people who actually did get along with her. Sure, you had your own share of bad experiences with her. Yeah, she'd always yell at me whenever I dozed off. I hate to say it, but things are a lot more peaceful around here without her. That was blunt, to say the least, but from what I heard from everyone else, I couldn't exactly blame him for thinking that. This is someone who might need someone to kick him in the rear to get him in going there, whatever. Alright, whatever. Valentina mentioned something interesting. She seemed to think that Bellwether was putting her job at risk. Oh yeah, Bellwether was putting all our jobs at risk. Why do you think that? You know those arcane constructs in the library? Bellwether was the one who put them there. Oh yeah, they're so cool. Well, a few weeks ago I peeked in a meeting she was having with Theodore. Apparently the school board was planning to replace the staff with them. Oh, well I'm sure the headmaster rejected her proposal. I don't know, from the way she was talking, it sounded like he didn't have any say in the matter. But only the headmaster should have the authority to hire the staff. Why would she be that confident? I don't know. All I know is that she hated having commoners on campus. She was really miffed when Theodore started hiring common folk from the community center. Who did they have before then? It's not like you could hire nobles to be your cooks or whatever. Okay, thank you for answering questions. Yeah, sure, anytime. What's wrong? We still don't have any leads on other suspects. It's just a lot of people who saw and/or hated Bellwether. If it wasn't Wallace, it could have been any other mage. Trial's coming up soon. We still don't know why there are traces of necromancy on the body. Come on, don't be like that. Still get to the truth at the end. It's only been one time. And after we quit Wallace, it's going to be a grand total of 2 times. Doesn't matter who tries to stop us, man, king, or god. That's, okay, whatever. Couldn't help but chuckle to myself. Okay, I guess we still need to talk to Wallace. Let's head to the dungeons. See, there we go. Nothing else here. And I don't think... What's going on over here? Lecture Hall 2F. 2D. 2B where the body is found. Storage closets. So that must have originally been 2A and then got turned into a storage closet, I guess. Nothing. Okay. Did I do detect magic in the foyer? I don't think I did. You'd think there would be, just on account of this being like a magic school, just intrinsically there would be some magic lingering around here for one reason or another. We arrived at the Wraithholm dungeons. I spotted Wallace locked in one of the nearby cells. He was lying on the floor, muttering to himself. It's over. My life is over. Wallace? Eep, who are you? What do you want? Wallace, it's us. Oh, right. How are you doing? Apparently not well. Please tell me you're not going to get me out of here. Please tell me you're going to get me out of here. I keep telling them that I didn't do it, but they won't listen. I'm sorry, Wallace, but they found traces of necromancy magic on the body. They're convinced that you did this. They're going to push your case to trial. But what? No, are they going to execute me? Are the walls moving? Are they closing in? This can't be happening. I can't breathe. But please calm down. Wallace, we know that you're innocent. But those knights think I did this. Are they going to kill me? I've spent my entire life learning how to deal with situations like this. If you let me represent you in court, I can prove that you're innocent. Oh, right, you said you are a lawyer, but I don't really have any money to pay you with. Don't worry about that. For now, let's just focus on getting you acquitted. But what? Do you seriously want to help me? No, they must want something from me. Well, I guess it doesn't matter anyway. It's not like I have anything else to lose. Wasn't exactly the reaction I was hoping for, but at least he was cooperating. What can you tell me about this? Okay, can't we get him to attune to it? I don't understand. I was with you in the library the entire time. Why do they still think I'm the murderer? Makes no sense unless... You told the Inquisition, right? Do you tell them that I was with you? Was I betrayed? Did they frame me? He backed away from us. Look at the suspicion on his face. We did, but they found traces of necromancy on the body. They believe that Bella was murdered with a necromancy spell. It seemed to get even more tense, something I didn't think was possible. Eris mentioned that his studies were something he liked to keep to himself. I would need to be delicate. Wallace, we heard about the type of magic that you're studying. Don't worry, the headmaster explained it to us already. You just want to use necromancy to become a doctor, right? I think what you're doing is really respectable. It's nice to see a dark school of magic being used as a force for good. What? No, you got it all backwards. For the first time I saw some genuine rage from him. Real necromancy has always been about healing. Nah. But because of garbage like Wraithbound, the public keeps calling necromancy, calling for necromancy to be... Is that a book? Okay, I think calling it garbage may be a bit much. The nobility paid Corin Bloomville to write stories about evil necromancers. He was such a sellout. Liches are magically impossible, but people still just believe that nonsense. That man single-handedly threw the study of necromancy back into the Stone Age. I had to stand for myself. He's clearly passionate about this, but I'll admit it's stunning to hear him talk about my favorite book like that. Maybe we should talk about something else. I understand that you have reservations about talking about your magic, but in order to build a case for you, we'll need to present your spell compendium to the courts. I don't have one. Eris already told us about that. That's why she gave us a blank one for you to attune to. Do I have to? It would be extremely difficult to defend you without your compendium. It's a core piece of evidence. Oh, okay, I'll attune to it. Wallace's spell compendium. Wallace Nightgrave's spell compendium. It contains formulas for the following spells: Prestidigitation, Mend Wounds, Illusory Disguise. Interesting. Revive, Animate Corpse, and Necrotic Blights. It's probably going to be made the case that she was killed with Necrotic Blight, but that's probably going to be end up being like not capable of doing what they think it does. We'll look up the mechanics of that in a second. We already know about this one. Mend Wound. Place on a target for a minute. Heals the wound of the target over the casting time. Wounds of the target are magically healed without leaving any scars or bruises. The spell can't restore missing limbs, nor can it revive someone who's already died. Illusory Disguise. Duration of an hour, no concentration. Place an illusion on the target to be completely change their visual appearance. The disguise moves the target for the duration. Disguise to make the target look 1 foot larger or smaller. Elements hidden by the spell are made invisible, and the elements created by the spell are purely visual. You cannot make physical contact with it. Typical sort of disguise self there. A revive. Floods start with life energy and attempt to resuscitate them. Does not heal wounds sustained. Results aren't guaranteed. It cannot resuscitate someone who's been dead for more than a minute. You can tell from the incantation that this is basically the Pathfinder spell, Revivify. Or is that... That might be a D&D spell as well. I know it's a Pathfinder spell. Animate Corpse. It's got an 8-hour duration. This is the crappy version of this. Reanimates the target using life energy, creating an undead minion for the duration. The minion follows the caster's orders, but its intelligence is limited and it cannot speak. The minion can end the spell prematurely, but will only do so if it is ordered by the caster. Once the spell is ended, the undead will turn to being a dead body. The really good version of this one has them lasting indefinitely, and the limitation on it, there's a hard cap of how much you're allowed to control using the spell by itself. But the control limit is something like hundreds. Like you could literally have 1,000 undead if you go all out with it. And that version hasn't been around for a while, but that was the good version of Raise Undead. I understood why he was saying that how come we didn't get the last spell? But the spells in his compendium sounded fairly gruesome. Not really. It was a little terrifying to know what spells like this even existed. Sorry, a long time ago I showed my compendium to someone. After she saw my necromancy spell, she told everyone in the academy. That's when Professor Bellwether started coming after me. That must have been difficult for you. After that, I didn't really talk to anyone. What about Eris? Yeah, I guess Eris was there too. Seemed like it was a difficult time for him. No wonder he had so much trouble remembering. Something similar happened to me after I left my hometown. Okay, I want to look at this stuff here. Necrotic Blight. Oh, we already... Yeah, no, this was the one that was for the murder. Okay. That's why we didn't get again. And again, the reason that this isn't going to work is because, the body did clearly have a wound, so it obviously was not Necrotic Blight. It would have to have been a different necromancy spell. Would it be Mend Wounds? Could also be an attempt like Revivify. Someone probably tried to bring her back to life. And it probably failed. Is my guess. Who is she? There's something off about her. How did you and Eris become friends anyway? There was another hint of fear from her. Oh, something the other students would steal the IDs number off my locker and switch it with another student's. I thought it was funny whenever that student got angry with me. Eris had a bit of a reputation around her school. Everyone was scared of her, even students from the nobility. Probably due to some base... No, she's scary as shit. One day someone switched my ID number with hers. I was so scared when she came up to me, I couldn't even say anything. But she didn't get angry like the others. She just apologized and gave me back my nameplate. After that, she started talking to me whenever she saw me. So I have to ask, if it caused you so much trouble, why are you studying necromancy? I want to become a doctor. The headmaster told us the same thing, but why are you learning spells that can steal people's life force and raise the undead? Life and death are two sides of the same coin. That's the key principle behind necromancy. The first undead was actually a failed attempt to resurrect a human using magic. But now, necromancy can only heal injuries and wounds, but it can't do anything for disease or deformities. If I could just keep studying, I know I can develop necromancy beyond that. I might even be able to create spells that can cure terminal diseases. This I can already guess, but how's your relationship with Catherine Bellwether? After word got out about my spells, Professor Bellwether would always find reasons to punish me. Start yelling at me for even the tiniest mistakes. It's pretty obvious she had it out for the students who didn't come from the noble families. That's terrible. I'd wake up each day scared that she'd notice me in the hallways. I knew how to avoid her and stay out of her way, but sometimes she'd get bored and come looking for me. I can't believe that after everything she did, she's just gone. I'm sure you have mixed emotions about what happened. I honestly don't know how to feel about it. To be honest, I always wish she would just disappear. But now it's finally happened, I feel even more scared. Feels like she's going to come back as a ghost and haunt me. Well, if you're a necromancer, you can deal with that. I think I'm starting to put things together now. Have you figured something out? Yeah, I need a moment to think everything through. The prosecution wants to implicate Wallace despite his alibi. They wouldn't have a reason to do this unless the evidence heavily implicated him. We've learned that Wallace is a necromancer. He's the only person in the Academy capable of high-level necromancy. Probably this? There's traces of necromancy on the body. This means that they think Wallace used one of his necromancy spells, even without seeing the traces. It's pretty obvious that magic was used on the body. Right, there aren't any wounds on it. The autopsy report found no signs of poison or disease. Which spells do they think Wallace used? If I knew prosecutor Steelwind, she probably already has a theory on which spell he might have used. The prosecution will probably argue that he used one of spells to weather, necrotic blight. They'll probably say to use necrotic blight. That makes sense. Necrotic blight would have drained the life force from her body. Strange because she wouldn't have been wounded by necrotic blight. I already noticed that. That's where the contradiction lies. Let's suppose that Wallace did kill Bellwether using necrotic blight. There's something at the crime scene that wouldn't be there if that were true. Well, they shouldn't have explained that, I feel like.
Maybe.
Bellwether's body. It wasn't covered in blood, but necrotic blight is a spell that doesn't inflict any visible wounds. If that's true, there shouldn't have been any blood on that scene. But then what really happened? That's the last piece. If I had to guess, the information we need is being hidden by one of the witnesses who discovered the body. Valentina, she definitely hid something. You notice how she reacted when I asked you to scan the room? Yeah, she ran away, but she didn't even try to be subtle about it. The way she reacted, I think she may have been trying to hide herself from your detect magic, which can only mean that there's a magical trace on her. I wonder what she's trying to hide. There's only one way to find out. The next time you see her, can you cast detect magic from afar and scan her? Alright, it's been a while since we talked to her. Valerie also mentioned that they still had work to do today. She might be back in the Academy's kitchen now. Okay. Can I get the... Let's, I guess we'll try that again. So those two are finally gone. We're back! I can finally get some cleaning done. We approached the kitchen from afar, making sure Valentina wouldn't spot us. We're pretty far away, but Celeste had the eyes of a hawk. It must have been a skill she picked up from her days as a mercenary. There she is, Celeste. Alright, just don't shout the incantation like you always do. I know that. Preparia Arcanum. What the? What is it? That's a trace of magic on her. I knew it. Which skill of magic is it? It's necromancy. There's traces of necromancy on her. What? Valentina's magical trace. Okay. Someone cast a necromancy spell on her within the last 48 hours. Is she going to be okay? What if the real killer cursed her or something? Still wasn't sure how this fit with everything, but if she's in danger, we were obligated to tell her. For now, let's talk to her and see who, if she saw who cast that spell on her. It's probably Valerie. If all else fails, we confront her with the evidence we have. Oh, it's you two again. Okay, just relax. I just need to repeat what I told them. Unfortunately for her, she had far more troubling matters to worry about. Magic on the body. Miss Yannis, there appears to be traces of necromancy on Bellwether's body. That's because the necromancy killed her, right? That's the thing. If that were true, a lot of evidence we found doesn't make sense. I think someone else cast a spell on the body. She became even more tense than before. It's possible you saw someone use magic on Bellwether? No, definitely not. Her thoughts were an open book now. If I beat her in an argument, her thoughts might show me what she's hiding. Alright, time to fight someone with facts and logic, or something like that. Valentina clearly knew more than she was letting on. She found the body alongside her sister, and she reacted strangely when I mentioned someone may have used magic on the body. I wish we knew a little bit more closely, like, specifically where the traces of magic are, because I'm betting it's, like, near her hands or something like that, because I'm betting it has something to do with, like, a bit of blood got on her. Miss Yanis, from the very beginning, I felt like you've been hiding something from us. There's something that you're not telling us about. With an expression like that? No. What are you talking about? My conscience is clear. My testimony is fine. I told you in the nights everything I know. I've got nothing to hide. I forget how this works. Okay, so these are their thoughts, and this is their... Okay, so it's probably this here. This is their claim. That was their emotions. Then the other one is their thoughts. Miss Yanis, it's clear to everyone how nervous you are. I can practically see the fear you're emanating right now. It's clear that you're hiding something from us. Just tell us the truth. Let's say I were hiding something, which I'm not, by the way. I don't have to tell you anything. Why should I tell you anything? You're not even one of those knights. You have nothing to lose by telling us what happened. I know that you're not the murderer, and I'll make sure you're protected. If I given your statement to the Inquisition, if the truth comes out, what do you think they'll do when you realize you lied to them? Valentina Yanis is extremely on edge due to some aspect of the investigation. For whatever reason, she's hiding something that occurred when she and her sister discovered the body. It's clear she fears the repercussion of what happened, but she may respond to even worse threats. I've already given your statements to the Inquisition. If the truth comes out, what do you think they'll do when they realize you lied to them? So what are you protecting? Who are you protecting, Miss Yanis? Probably her sister. Talking big game, but I bet you can't actually prove anything, can you? Keep trying to stay in line to protect someone. I don't know anyone who can use magic. I don't even know any mages, and I definitely didn't see anyone use magic on the body. I don't know anyone who can use magic. I don't think we've actually established any proof of anything. But I have a suspicion that her sister can use magic. This is probably it. But she could say that she didn't... blah, 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 blah. The other problem here is, like, she obviously doesn't know people that you can use magic. Everyone here uses magic. Okay, what would be the right thing here? This is throwing, like, a, bit of a curveball, in all honesty. This one would also be, like... Yes, you know someone capable of casting magic, and this proves it. That doesn't prove anything. You're bluffing. Okay, yeah. Am I just supposed to say, like... Catherine Bellwether? I might screw up here. Like, she knows these people, and we know that she knows these people. I don't get what they're exactly trying to tell me here. Okay, it's probably this. Can't hide the truth from us. What? How do they know? We already talked about this, though. Said that you've never even seen a necromancer spell before. If that were true, why is there trace of necromancy on you? This doesn't really prove anything, because she might not know that that had been cast, because she's not a mage herself, so that doesn't really mean anything. What? There's a trace of necromancy on me? Like, see, that doesn't really have that sort of impact. That shouldn't be something that's there. What, she seems to be genuinely surprised about that. Was she unaware that a spell was cast on her? No, if she didn't know, she wouldn't have avoided Celeste back then. There had to be an explanation for that. This is crazy. Why is there a trace of necromancy on me? Did that guy curse me? Am I going to become a zombie? That was strange. She seemed genuinely worried. Was she really unaware that a spell was cast on her? No, she ran away when Celeste was going to scan the crime scene for magical traces. Why doesn't Valentina know that the spell was necromancy? She knew that someone used magic on her, but she didn't know that the spell that was cast on her was necromancy. Gonna guess this one is my deduction. Calm down, Miss Yanis. Not all necromancy spells relate to the undead. Healing spells are also from the school of necromancy. Healing spells. Oh, it was from that time she healed that cut. Someone healed a cut on her? Was the mage a student here? Sorry, I just remembered that there's something else I have to do. I'll be right back. Before we could say anything, she quickly walked out of the room. Seemed to really want to avoid talking about that mage, but why was that? Hey, we're not done talking to you. Do you want me to just catch her? I'm pretty sure she can't outrun me. The Inquisition is still patrolling the surrounding areas. They're probably intervening to start chasing one of the witnesses. But we aren't able to learn anything. Actually, I did learn one thing. She has a friend who cast a healing spell on her. How did you figure that out? Good deductive reasoning. Well, healing magic is also a form of necromancy, right? I guess that explains why there's magical traces on her. It's a good thing a necromancer isn't actually trying to kill her. Wait a minute. Why were there traces of necromancy on Bellwether's body?
What if...
I'm gonna try this. That's it. What? This whole time we've been wondering why there were traces of necromancy on the body. It wasn't because someone attacked Bellwether with a necromancy spell, it was because someone used a necromancy spell to try to heal her. Oh, I get it. It doesn't matter what type of necromancy spell someone uses. Traces in the same school of magic look exactly the same to me. It's not just that. The body clearly bled at some point. Why was there blood despite there being no wounds in the body? The healing spell closed the wounds on... What happened if someone used a healing spell on an injured corpse? It would close all the body's wounds. I don't know if that would actually be true. In other words, it would remove any cuts or bruises. So that's why they couldn't find any wounds on her. Well, interrogating... This is all very speculative, actually. I don't know if these are great conclusions to come to. They're probably true, but, like, this feels like it, at this phase would be considered too speculative. Well, integrating Valentina may have been a dead end, but at least it helps you figure that out. I'm not sure that was a dead end. What makes you say that? Why would she go to so much trouble to hide those traces on her? It's too coincidental. The wounds in the body were healed by an unknown person, and the person who found the body is hiding the identity of a healing spell cast on her. What if they're the same person? I doubt she'll give us the opportunity to find out for sure. Yeah, she's definitely onto us. Done everything we could for now. We have plenty of evidence to poke holes in the prosecution's case, and if that didn't work, we just have to drag Valentina into the stand and pull the truth out of her. She clearly knew more than she was letting on, and she wouldn't be able to run the courtroom. Well, she could, but... I'm telling you, that girl used magic to scam me. Calm down, we don't even know who they are. Didn't you see them, Val? Those two are unreasonably attractive. That's your problem? Okay, but what does that mean? They have to be nobles or something. Commoners don't look that good. Tina, calm down. What if they find out what you did? They can't prove anything. The Inquisition already has our alibi. Alibi? What? Oh, it's just you, Jan. What are you two talking about? We were just talking about those two investigators. They're so weird, right? Like, why are they so attractive? Why do you keep mentioning that? Investigators. I mean that blonde kid and the girl with the sword? They talked to you, didn't they? Yeah, they asked me a bunch of questions. I think they're investigating Bellwether's murder. What did you tell them? Oh, not much. I saw Bellwether before you two found the body, so they wanted to know if I saw anything. Did you see anything? No idea. I just told them about how she shoved me before you two discovered the body. After the guy just kept going on and on about getting the truth and finding the other suspects. Scaled Lord, I think I'm going to be sick. He seemed to be really interested when I told them Bellwether was going to fire us. What? Why would you tell them about that? Oh, it's not as if it makes any difference, right? With Bellwether gone, I'm pretty sure we'll see a few more paychecks before they fire us. Valentina cursed under her breath. Damn it all, that's probably what they're thinking too. Are you okay? You don't look so good. Just go away, Jan. Don't you have work to do? Ugh, don't remind me. By the way, I made you lunch on the front counter of the kitchen. Thanks. You're a lifesaver, Valerie. You have our motive, Val. You have our motive, and they're going to find out what we did. You don't know that. Why did Jan have to go babbling about Bellwether's plan to those two? Why do you keep making meals for him? He doesn't even do anything. What? I'm just going to come out and say it. I have to run a two-person kitchen every meal to feed these pampered kids. He just lays around and complains about his job. Tina, he's overworked. Like hell he's overworked. Every time I see him, he's either napping or barely working. Have you been around the campus? Have you ever seen it dirty? No, but he's the only custodian on staff, and the school board won't let the headmaster hire more. He barely has enough time to sleep. Why do you think he's so tired all the time? Skilled Lord. I'm really sorry. Are you really going to be okay? Everything is going to be fine. We just need to do our best and keep our story straight. Have you been able to get into the library lately? No, the Knights are patrolling around it. I was really hoping we could get one last study session before they fired us. Yeah, it's too bad. I knew she was a mage. Son of a bitch. It's time for the trial. My heart was thundering against my chest like a drum. Luckily, the drum doesn't hammer against things. The drum's... whatever. Luckily, I've been reading about some meditative techniques after what happened last time. I just need to take deep breaths and relax. I breathed in, I breathed out, I breathed in. Hi, Tyrion. Gas, lust. Don't sneak up on me like that. Are your nerves acting up again? Come on, it's not as if it's your first time defending someone. It's my second. Oh, it's too bad Ruby couldn't make it. I'd say that you should calm down for Wallace's sake, but there's so many people here. And they're all looking at me. Their eyes are prying into me like a pack. Let's see here. Catch you up on this. So there's a lot that's happened. So this guy, Wallace over here, has been caught up in this, which you already sort of know. We've learned that he's a necromancer because he wants to be a doctor. They're using 2nd edition logic for what necromancy is. By 2nd edition, I mean this is like old D&D where they decided that necromancy is also the healing school of magic, which I disagree with. So he's got like some healing spells. He's got some necromancy spells. The blood pool under the body came from the fact that like they probably were healed up rather than killed by a necromancy spell. Because the necromancy spell wouldn't have left the pool of blood underneath it. The two people in the kitchen are probably the murderers. One of them is probably a mage. Valerie is the one that probably is a mage. We found necromancy on the one that's not a wizard, although they think that that was just a healing spell to fix up a cut. What else happened? We talked to the headmaster. Headmaster seems like a chill guy. He had major disagreements with the person who died. Literally everyone despises the person that died, though, so like we could just probably get this to be one of those ones where like everybody in the entire academy comes together and agrees. Actually, no, it was just an unfortunate accident. It couldn't have been avoided, really. Shame, honestly, that it had to happen that way. But sometimes things happen. And then everyone in the academy would be happier because she literally everyone in the academy hated her. Let's see here. The janitor gave us some information about some stuff where she was like stumbling around and like knocked over a vase and then went to the room that she got murdered in. But yeah. I'm also continually getting trolled by Eris. Like, there's people who are trying to say something and then she'll like wipe my memory with like an illusion. Or she's doing something with illusion magic. I don't know exactly what she's doing to me. But I do know my perception is getting hitched by that. Yeah, we'll have to figure out what she's actually doing there. She's a really interesting character, and I hope they keep her, because like that effect is really fun. But we'll see. Their eyes are prying into me like a pack of flesh-eating maggots. Ew. I need to calm down. I was just making Wallace more nervous. Um, uh, don't worry, Wallace. Our investigation revealed a lot of weaknesses in the prosecution's case. Not really. Everything that we've discovered here is highly speculative. So we're heading into this with stuff that is just like wild crack theories that are probably true. They are very valid, but they are not substantiated to the point where we could say this is definitely what happened. All we can do is throw a little bit of contention to the claims that the prosecution is going to have. Getting trolled by an illusionist, surprise, surprise. Yeah, every time someone's about to like point out that something that she's doing is like weird or strange or something like that, she like glosses over that by showing us the illusion of the person being like, "Oh yeah, no, the thing that she is doing is completely normal. That's fine. I think that that's okay." Um, for example, she was holding on to. Apparently, one of the mechanics in this game is like, you can just get a random ass spell book just out of nowhere, and if you hold on to it for 10 minutes, it will instantly write down all the spells that you know, which is very convenient. If that was something that you could do in D&D, that would be a really, really great thing. But unfortunately, you have to do it the other way. So she was holding on to his spare spell book that was empty, and the principal was about to ask how she was holding on to it for him for 10 minutes without it attuning to her. But when he's about to ask that question, just before he's able to ask that question, it gets wiped over and you get something else instead. So she's a really interesting character, and I really like that sort of thing. I'm assuming that's what he was going to say, but like that's probably what was going to happen there. We have a strong case for your acquittal. Okay, we do not. Actually, that was true. I really no, that's not true. You have a really weak case. So you can be confident when you want to be. If we lived in a society where like we have to just do the reasonable doubt metric, then we'd be fine. But we live in crack world where we have to prove someone else is guilty. Court's now in session for the trial of Wallace Nightgrave, and it does like make a bit more sense in this setting where it's like corrupt aristocrats and shit like that. So whatever. Prosecution is ready, Your Honor. The defense is also ready. I don't love that it's the same judge that we're up against twice in a row. I liked Phoenix Wright's ability to have a whole cast of prosecutors that are all different. That made it more fun, but oh well. Prosecutor Steelman, can you please list the charges? Mr. Nightgrave is a second-year student of the Weaver Guard Imperial Academy. He is charged with first-degree murder and negligent misuse of the arcane arts and illegal practice of advanced necromancy. Necromancy? Do you mean to tell me the defendant is a necromancer? I can't believe it. A necromancer in this day and age? How could the kingdom allow this to happen? Your Honor, I would like to remind the court they are obligated to judge my client objectively. Of course, but one can easily see from the list of charges, necromancy plays a large role in the charges. Indeed, the crime occurred within the academy this afternoon. The victim is Catherine Bellwether, a professor at the school. Although there were no witnesses to the crime, traces of necromancy were detected on the body. Furthermore, the autopsy report shows that the body has no physical wounds. Necromancy is the only type of magic that can harm an individual without physically wounding them. That's also not true because illusion is the other school that does that. Illusion is actually really good at doing that in pretty much every edition of D&D Pathfinder. Additionally, an alchemist report shows no sign of poison or disease. One could only conclude that a necromancer had committed the crime. I see. As many of you know, the practice of advanced necromancy is outlawed in the kingdom of Weavengard. Aside from the defendant, no other students had learned advanced necrotic magic. As such, the defendant was the only mage in the building capable of committing the murder. I see, that is certainly compelling evidence. To properly present our case, the prosecution would like to call Commander Orem White to the stand. Same guy. Commander White, please testify to this court about the Inquisitor's finding. Yeah. Started when the city watch got a call from the Imperial Academy. Someone was attacked, and the whole building was put on lockdown. We set up a perimeter around the area and wait for the lockdown system to deactivate. When we finally got into the building, the prosecutor personally inspected the body and detected traces of necromancy on it. There are no cuts or bruises on the body either. The entire body was clean. Those two pieces of evidence we concluded that it can only be a necromancer kid that did that. The Inquisition's testimony was just as I expected. Arcane found and identified the holes in Sealand's case. All I had to do was find that hole in the commander's testimony. Mr. Cuthbert, you may begin your cross-examination. Okay. So. Okay, yep. We'll still press just to figure out what time did the call come in. A little after 3 p.m. It was a few minutes after the murder was discovered. Right? I remember that was around the time the lockdown occurred. Set perimeter around the area and wait for the lockdown system to deactivate. How long did it take to deactivate? The lockdown couldn't be ended manually, so it must have been forced to wait for an hour until it was lifted. How secure was this perimeter? Is it possible that someone slipped past you? The Inquisition was working in conjunction with the City Watch and the King's Guard. With that many soldiers at the scene, it's very unlikely that anyone escaped unnoticed, but not impossible. That made sense. For better or for worse, the king must have acted quickly to protect a building filled with children of every noble family. We finally got into the building. The prosecutor personally inspected the body and detected traces of necromancy on it. Why did the prosecutor inspect the body instead of the Inquisition? Well, how I choose to lead the investigation is irrelevant to the proceedings. This is not true if the prosecution decides to falsify evidence in furtherance of their career or something like that. This is why you're supposed to have a neutral third party gather the evidence, not the prosecuting attorney. Or do you insinuate that I'm not as competent as Commander White? No, you're more competent. That's the problem. It's not a question of your competency, Steelwinds. I just find your actions to be bizarre, given how you usually work. While the court admits that the prosecutor's actions are unorthodox, we find the presence of a necromancer to be an unorthodox situation. That has no relevance on that situation there, Your Honor. I see no reason to question the prosecutor's actions. Thank you, Your Honor. The thing is, Arya Steelwind is actually, like, a relatively honorable person, so she's not doing that for, like, reasons of corruption. She is doing it because, like, that guy is inept, but we would still be, like, it would be improper for us to not question that. And then again, I'm also acting as, like, an investigator in the case as a defense attorney, which I should not have to be doing. That's not what a defense attorney does either. So, you know what? Fair enough, I guess. There were no cuts or bruises on the body either. The entire body was clean. I wish I could object to that, because there is an objection to that. There was blood on the body. How carefully was the body checked? Perhaps the prosecution missed something like a small puncture wound? The coroner couldn't even find even the smallest cut, bruise, or fracture on the body. Furthermore, the alchemist report showed no signs of poisonous diseases. The necromancy spell had obfuscated the post-mortem divination. I spared no expense to verify the cause of death through other means. That made sense. If someone had used mend wounds in the body, it would have healed even the most minor of injuries. So how do I prove that someone healed the body? Mage detective is a more interesting role, though, for sure. Yeah. We conclude that could only be the necromancer kid that did it. Okay, we'll press here as well. The prosecution believes that my client used necrotic blight. Yep, it's the only way that the crime scene makes any sense. Necrotic blight? I'm afraid I've never heard of the spell before. Necrotic blight is a spell that drains the life force from its target. When used on a living human, it makes their bodily functions cease. Their body dies soon after. I see. What a horrible spell. The commoner should never have been allowed to learn something like that. I thought there would be more protection against children learning this. To be fair, that is a really weird thing to teach a child. Whilst the spell compendium really wasn't doing him any favors. There really is a large stigma against necromancers, isn't there? Okay. We already collected a lot of evidence after investigating the crime scene. We used the blood spatter on probably number 4. We already know the Inquisition's theory contradicts one of the clues we found. Right, all we have to do is predict... yeah. Okay, so it's probably here. I'm not 100% sure. Commander White, it appears that you've neglected to mention one key detail of the crime scene. Yeah, and what's that? During your testimony, you said the entire body was clean. I will admit that there weren't any wounds in the body. However, the body was certainly not clean. At the scene of the crime, there was a large pool of blood located where the body was. This blood had to come from the victim's body. It was certainly not clean like the commander testifies. The blood did not have to come from the victim's body. That is not true. It likely did, and there's no reason at this point for us to believe that it did not come from the victim's body, but there's no reason to state that it had to come from the victim's body. I'm sorry, Mr. Cuthbert, but I fail to see the significance of this. I'd like to remind the court the prosecution's case against my client. They are accusing me of murdering the victim using necrotic blight, a spell which would not have physically wounded the victim. So why was there any blood at all? There's a lot of reasons why this defense is way weaker than I think that they're saying here. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. The fact still stands. There was no wound in the body, nor were there any poison or disease in the autopsy. There are very clearly magical elements in this case. But Catherine Bellwether was bleeding profusely at some point. How else would there be blood stain on the body? Do you have any explanation for that, Miss Steelwind? No, I'll admit that the prosecution doesn't have an explanation for that. And while I do find the circumstances questionable, all other evidence clearly points to the defendant. Which spell would leave a trace of necromancy? We already know that. So tell me, Mr. Cuthbert, if the victim wasn't killed with necromancy, why was there a trace of it on the body? I'm glad you asked. I'd like to present a spell that would have left a trace of necromancy in the body. Present spells, mend wounds. Mend wounds? Correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't that healing spell? That's correct, Your Honor. Spells from the School of Necromancy control the forces of death and life. Again, I disagree. Mend Wounds is in fact a necromancy spell. Really now, I wasn't aware of this. Now I'd like the court to consider the following. What would happen if Bellwether was wounded and someone attempted to heal her with using Mend Wounds? All of her wounds would disappear from her body. I see, that does make sense. Do you think I'm that incompetent, Mr. Cuthbert? Frankly, I'm a little insulted. What? The Inquisition was well aware of what happens when a mage attempts to save a victim using Mend Wounds. The healers that arrived at the scene already confirmed that the victim was long dead. None of them attempted to heal her. Well, what if someone tried to heal her and didn't report it? Please, none of the healers would have done anything, have anything to gain by doing so. Fact is, necromancer, the defendant could have easily carried out the described scenario. He would have cast Mend Wounds on the victim after murdering her to confound the investigation. At the end of the day, the burden of proof was on us, but if I could prove it shouldn't be. If I could prove someone else healed the body, I severed the only thread linking Walls to the murder. Whoever this healer was, Valentina definitely knew her. Your Honor, I will admit that I don't have any evidence to support my theory. However, I do believe that we can bring it to light. There may have been two people that witnessed someone casting magic on the body. Valentina and Valerie Aegis, the sisters who discovered the body. This is nonsense. We've already questioned those two witnesses extensively. If they had witnessed something like that, it would have come up in their testimony. If that's true, the courts have nothing to lose by hearing their testimonies. Very well, if you're so confident, let's hear her testimony. It seems the prosecution has no objections. If this line of questioning leads to nowhere, however, I see no reason to further prolong this trial. Of course, Your Honor. Valentina Yanis. Oh crap, it's that guy from before. What? He's the necromancer's lawyer? She's just arrived at the stand. She was already stressed out. That would work in my favor. Witness, please state your name and occupation for the court. My name? Witness, there's no need to be so nervous. We merely want to hear about what you saw on the day of the murder. Right, it's just that guy over there. Are you talking about Mr. Cuthbert? This Ben harassing witness? But wait a minute. Yeah, he super harassed me. Mr. Cuthbert, I expect something of your profession to behave more professionally. I could hear Celeste snickering under her breath. You're enjoying this far too much. Anyways, please state your name and occupation for the court, Miss Yanis. Just calm down. You can't prove anything. My name is Valentina Yanis. I'm the head chef of the Weavengard Imperial Academy. Really? And at such a young age? As I recall, you were one of the witnesses that discovered the body. Apparently the defense finds your involvement suspect. Rest assured, Miss Yanis, in this courtroom you will be protected from Mr. Cuthbert's harassment. Ugh. Now, please testify to the court on what happened that day. Yeah. I was walking with my sister in the West Wing when we noticed something in a nearby classroom. We looked over to see what it was. That's when we saw Miss Bellwether bleeding on the ground. My sister tried her best to help her, but the professor had already lost a lot of blood. When my sister did that, I used an emergency communication device to call for help. But it was too late. By the time her bleeding stopped, she'd already lost too much blood. Where was she bleeding from? If your theory is true, that means she just lied in her testimony. She's holding something back. She definitely saw more than she's letting on. I just need to prove that somehow. Mr. Cuthbert, you may begin your cross-examination. This isn't a cross-examination. This is an examination. Where were you two coming from? We came from the kitchen. We were taking a break after the lunch rush. Cafeteria was on the west side of the academy, so that made sense. So what did you see in the classroom, Miss Yanis? Do you notice anything else strange in the lecture hall? Well, there was that terrible smell. It was awful. I almost couldn't see because of how much I was tearing up. Aside from Bellwether, the smell was the most notable thing in that room. But hard to notice anything else. She tried to help her? Miss Yanis, how exactly did your sister try to help Miss Bellwether? Well, what? I slipped up. Oh, my sister used first aid to try to stop the bleeding. I see. Could you please add that detail to your testimony? Yeah, sure. She used first aid and applied pressure to her wound to stop the bleeding. Your sister knows how to use a first aid kit? Yeah, it was covered in our training when we first started working here. With all the nobles around, I guess the headmaster wanted to make sure we were prepared. Well, my sister used an emergency communication device to call for help. A device? It's a communication device for use in an emergency. I see. So who did you contact? I wasn't sure, honestly. I could hear a lot of people talking on the other end. That particular device broadcast to the headmaster's office and the city watch barracks. I imagine that's why the headmaster was able to activate the lockdown so quickly. I see. That must have been a difficult experience for both of you. I was especially hard on my sister. I think she blames herself for not being able to save her. She seemed sincere when she said that. I didn't catch any dissonant thoughts about the eye either. With the eye either. Honestly, your testimony makes a lot of sense. No, it doesn't. It's hard to figure out which part she might be lying about. There has to be a contradiction here somewhere. Your theory is that Valentina saw someone use men wounds on Bellwether. She should focus on the statements that describe how they both interacted with her. I don't know why we can't just question. It's like, how... Okay, What? Why are you looking at me like that? Maybe I can elaborate, Miss Yanis. You weren't present in the gallery earlier, were you? No, I was waiting in the lobby. Lady Steelman told me to wait there. I consider myself lucky. This wouldn't have been nearly as easy if Valentina had seen my cross-examination of Aurum. You see, Miss Yanis, one key element of this case is that the body didn't have any wounds on it. Yeah, so? So that begs the following question. How did Valerie apply first aid when there shouldn't have been any wounds in the body? Well, what? No. Did I screw up? But I saw that wound on her. What happened? There's clearly something amiss here. But I'm afraid I don't fully understand the implications of this. Are you accusing the witness of committing perjury, Mr. Cuthbert? When someone lied, they kept it as close to the truth as possible while changing minute details. In her thoughts, Valentina said that she was sure she saw a wound on Bellwether. She also mentioned that Valerie was the one who tried to save the professor. I knew that someone had cast healing magic on the body. That was why the wounds had disappeared. If the wounds disappeared after the twins discovered the body, that could only mean one thing. The witness was lying, Your Honor, but not about everything. Valerie Yanis did try to save the victim's life by addressing her wounds, but she didn't use first aid, she used magic. How did he figure it out? I figured that out, like, ages ago. What are you talking about? I'm sorry, Mr. Cuthbert, but your theory is completely flawed. How so, Steelwind? Well, it's quite simple. We've already verified that neither of the sisters is a mage. What? But wait, how can you be so sure? During the investigation, we had both the Yanis sisters attuned to a spell compendium. It's standard procedure for the Inquisition when interviewing witnesses. Then that means neither of the Yanis sisters could attune to a compendium. That's right, the Inquisition checked us both. No, they checked her twice. We're not mages, that was close. Was I wrong about Valerie being a mage? No. No, that couldn't be right. Her thoughts said, how did he figure it out? That means I was on the right track. Valerie had to be the mage I was looking for. Celeste, is it possible for mage to hold a spell compendium and avoid attuning to it? Yes, because Eris did. No, it just needs to be on their person. When I was arrested, the Inquisition also made me to attune to one of their spell compendiums. They were really careful to make sure I did the attunement correctly. There's no way a mage could avoid it with them watching you. Right, Commander White may have been negligent sometimes, but even he wasn't that careless. Now, if you're done, I do believe that you've exhausted all of your options. But wait, I'm still not done cross-examining this witness. What do you possibly hope to glean from her testimony? Valentina was stressing out enough to see her thoughts. But I couldn't exactly say I was planning to read her mind. And at this point, I felt that I was already testing the judge's patience. There's one key element of her testimony that the court is overlooking. I have a right as an attorney to complete my cross-examination. Your Honor, the defense is clearly trying to buy time. I might be compelled to agree with you, however, I also admit that some element of the witness testimony are quite peculiar. I will allow the defense to continue their cross-examination. That was close. But know that this is your last chance, Mr. Cuthbert. If you produce nothing substantial with your questioning, I will pass my verdict. Of course, Your Honor. All right. It's all or nothing. If I can find anything by reading her mind, this whole case will be finished. Please give your testimony once more. Okay. How long does he plan to keep me up here? Until we find the truth. I want the truth. And then she tells me I can't handle the truth. Okay. Actually, that was the plaintiff. He was a prosecuting attorney in that movie. Witness testimony. Like I said, my sister and I saw Miss Bellwether bleeding on the ground. We restored to her. I was definitely surprised when I saw her like that. I can't go back on that now. I just need to play dumb. Now that you mentioned it, I don't know if I saw any wounds in her, but I definitely saw blood. Valerie, you're too kind-hearted. My sister tried to save her, but she didn't use any magic. We're not mages. Both of us had that book the knights gave us. It was caught off guard when they asked us. They almost found us out. It's a good thing that we're twins, or else that trick wouldn't have worked. The commander was watching us the whole time. He can confirm it. What are we going to do? They have pretty hard proof that Valerie isn't a mage. Valerie is the mage we're looking for, I'm sure of it. I'm just not sure why they felt the need to lie to the Inquisition. And more importantly, how did they trick the Inquisition? I think that at this point in time, we would have to ask for the Inquisition to give the specifics about what they interpret. That's new. Oh, shit. I think I got the wrong one. Okay. Either of us take a risk like that. Living as an unregistered mage is a serious crime. If Valerie was a mage, then you would have been charged with fraud right then and there. Yeah, but we are proof that we're not mages. What exactly? Okay. Okay, so I use interpret on the thoughts, so I don't really love how that system works. Your thoughts betray you. What? I found the thought. They must have done something to trick Orem, but what? It must have happened when he was interrogating them. Orem collected their statements. How are they holding up? I imagine they'd be rattled after discovering their body. From what he said, they were extremely tense, but I suppose that's to be expected. He told me that they couldn't sit still. He found it difficult to take their statements because of that. They couldn't sit still. That implied they were moving somehow. She also thought it was a good thing that they were twins. How did the twins trick the Inquisition? This means that their so-called trick wouldn't have worked otherwise.
What if?
Orem...
What if?
They switched places. Valentina attuned to the first spell compendium. Then she pretended to be Valerie to attune to the second one. They even wear the same uniform. No wonder Commander White couldn't tell the difference between them. Mr. Yanis, there's something I want to confirm. During the investigation, both you and Valerie tuned to the spell compendium. Yeah, that night watched us do it. And how did he have you do this? Do you both tune to those compendiums at the same time, or did you tune one after the other? What? I fail to see how that makes any difference, Mr. Cuthbert. Yes, I agree. The spell compendiums would work regardless of what order they went in. You may not be aware of this, Your Honor, but Valentina and Valerie Yanis are identical twins, which means that their physical appearance are nearly identical to each other. They also work in the same kitchen, which means that they must have been wearing the same uniform during questioning. If Commander White didn't have them attuned at the same time, that would stop the twins from switching places with each other. This is clearly nothing but baseless conjecture. Commander White would never do something that stupid, right, Commander White? Commander White. Orem wouldn't fail at such a basic task. Really, Prosecutor Steelman? Do you find it hard to believe that Commander White would fail at a task like this? Even so, the gift of magic is inherited through bloodlines. For a pair of genetically identical twins, it would be possible for one twin to be mage while the other is not. Has that been proven, Steelwind? Because as far as I'm concerned, that is baseless conjecture. Wait a minute, this is crazy. We didn't trick the Inquisition. I keep telling you, my sister and I aren't mages. Then prove it, Miss Yanis. Bring in your sister and we'll have you attune two spell compendiums at the same time. No. Order in the court. It's clear that we don't get anywhere unless we test the defense's theory. Bailiff, escort Valerie Yanis to the stand, bring two unattuned spell compendiums. They've both had their hands on those compendiums for the last 10 minutes. There's no way they can fake it in front of this many people. Alright, it was the moment of truth. I can only hope that my theory was correct. No, did he seriously? But what is this, Prosecutor Steelwind? What I see is the commander seeking new employment in the near future. Side, it appears that the defense was correct. Valentina Yanis isn't a mage, but Valerie Yanis is. What's more, Valerie Yanis' compendium contains the Mend Wound spell, which makes the defense theory entirely plausible. Please, just allow me to explain. We should allow you to explain what exactly? You're an unregistered mage, and you and your sisters messed up the investigation of this trial. How do you know what's... How do you know what it's like, Lady Steelwind? What? Do you think we don't know who you are? You're not like us. You don't have to hide. But it's okay. This whole situation's gotten out of hand. I didn't think hiding it would cause this much trouble, and I won't let someone go to prison because of me. Even if he is a necromancer, please let me testify about what I saw. I'll tell you all of you what really happened that day. Your Honor, I believe we all may benefit from hearing Miss Yanis' testimony. Very well, but understand that there will be repercussions for your actions, witness. I know. Okay, so who's going to be the actual murderer at the end of literally all of it? Is it Eris? I hope it's not Eris. My sister and I were walking in the hallway of the kitchen to the west exit. That's when I suddenly spotted the professor lying to pool blood in a nearby classroom. The thing is, there's also illusions on the professor, but the professor's an illusionist, so she probably uses illusions. But Eris is the other illusionist, and she seems like she's a much better one, actually. Valentina used a communication device to call for help while I tried to save her. I saw that she was bleeding, so I cast mend wounds on her to close her wounds. But it was too late. I closed the hole in her chest, but she was already dead. There was a hole in her chest? Your Honor, as you can clearly see from the witness testimony, the trace of necromancy was left by the witness, not my client. Eris is an illusionist. There's more than one, though. The problem is there's multiple illusionists. Like, the thing about this guy being the necromancer, like, hinges on the fact that there's only one necromancer who has advanced necromancy spells. That's why they took in Nightgrave. Eris being an illusionist might not mean anything if there's a lot of them, but she's the only, like, one of the names, so she's, like, the obvious one. If they're messing with your head, that's turbo sus. Well, she's messing with her head about certain key things that, as far as I know, don't actually deflect from the actual murder, so it's hard to say. So, yeah, I'm not 100% sure. It's mostly, like, her messing with my ability to perceive other people's reactions to her stuff, but it usually doesn't seem to be harmful for what we're doing here. It's clear that there was a physical wound on the body. I see. Well, his words trailed off. He clearly didn't want to pass a verdict with no clear culprit. But he had no choice. The case against Wallace was predicated on Bellwether being killed by necrotic blight. With Valerie's testimony, the prosecutor didn't have a shred of evidence implicating him. Sigh, very well. The court sees no reason to prolong this trial. These new developments, the court has no choice but to find Wallace Nightgrave. I believe the court is ignoring one key detail of the witness testimony. And what would that be, Miss Steelwind? Let's re-examine the witness testimony. Valentina used a communication device to call for help while I tried to save her. I saw that she was bleeding, so I cast mend wounds on her to close her wounds, but it was too late. I closed the hole in her chest, but she was already dead. The communication device that Valentina and Yanis used logs the times of day out during each use. From this log, we know that Valentina used the device at 3:04 p.m. This is an hour after the time of death. Where are you going with this? Mr. Cuthbert, there was a witness who saw the victim before the body was found, Yan Hughes. He, along with another witness, spotted Bellwether walking the hallway before the body was found. I was cleaning the halls. Bellwether knocked over a vase. There were shards of dirt everywhere. Wait, you saw the professor before the twins arrived? Yeah, like I said, she broke the vase right in this hallway. It was probably 20 to 30 minutes before the twins found the body. The problem with this is, like, they're trying to implicate that 20 to 30 minutes, blah, 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 not the right time. That's not a guarantee. Because he's giving us a very unreliable number here. I don't think that we trust this number necessarily, but if they're going to treat this as being good testimony, like Phoenix Wright would require, it's like, how do you know that it was 20 to 30 minutes? What did you use to establish that timeline? And they'd be like, okay, see this picture, we've got this like clock in the background that shows the time and blah, blah, blah. That's not happening here. So I don't really think that this is not relevant information as far as I'm concerned. Do you see the discrepancy, Mr. Cuthbert? I do, but I also discard it. Wait, that couldn't be right. Bellwether died more than an hour before the body was found. So how did Yan see her half an hour after her death? Especially with Yan in particular. I wonder, Miss Cuthbert, how could one make a dead body move and walk around? No, we didn't just arrest the defendant based on those traces of necromancy. We arrested him because only one person in the school could have animated her corpse. There's also a secondary problem with that specific thing here. An undead created within the Imperial Academy. How reprehensible. That's ridiculous. She had a hole in her chest when the twins found her. Yan Hughes would have noticed that. Animate corpse stops the flow of blood, so she wouldn't have tracked blood anywhere. That's not true. Even if the blood's not flowing, if there's a large hole in your chest, there would still be like blood that's capable of dripping out of that large of a wound. There just wouldn't be a large outflow of blood at that time. The Fen is also proficient with illusion magic. He's got Disguise Self that wouldn't stop the trail of blood, that would only stop the physical blood appearance on the actual body. So she would have still left blood in the hallway. Yeah, he's got knowledge of Disguise Person. He could have easily used an illusion spell to hide the undead Bellwether's wounds. But another party could have easily used an illusion magic to disguise themselves as the victim. If that were true, how did they move the body to the classroom? Miss Steelwind, if your theory is true, it would mean that the murder occurred elsewhere. Would the Inquisition happen to know where? Regrettably, we do not. Then the prosecution's case against my client is still faulty. You can't convict my client without more evidence. I must agree with Mr. Cuthbert. With these new developments, the court sees it fit to suspend the trial for the time being. We will give the Inquisition time to investigate these unknowns. Court proceedings to this case will resume tomorrow morning. Court is adjourned. Hey, are you feeling okay? There's also another discrepancy here. Their time of death was given under the assumption that the person was killed using that specific spell, which would have preserved them a little bit better than if they had a large gaping chest wound which like dumped all their blood onto the ground. Those would be like fairly different time of death kind of scales that they would come to the conclusion of. And even then, like a half-hour difference in time of death is entirely within reason for people doing those operations. I guess they could have done it using magic to figure out an exact, this is when they definitely did die. They haven't established that that's a spell that exists as far as I remember. I might be misremembering though. A body was seen moving around an hour after death. A half hour after death. It clearly wasn't Bellwether. Or at the very least, she wasn't alive when Jan ran into her. So what was it? Tyrion. I still want to tell you about one thing. There was illusion magic involved. But which spell was it? Could it have been illusory disguise? I doubt that was going to be the case here. Tyrion. What? Been pacing around the lobby since the trial ended. So, my guess is going to be that she was actually in the room an hour before and had died at that point in time, because there's no evidence that there was blood moved at it or anything like that, or that the body had been moved. So there was someone else who was disguising themselves as Bellwether who bumped into Yan. Who was going in there for some reason or another. That's my guess at this point, but we'll probably get better evidence as we continue along here. It might also just be that you are allowed, like, it does stop the flow of blood so much that, like, they can't even drip a little bit of blood, even if they've got, like, their entire torso missing or something like that. I find that to be a peculiar explanation, but that could be the rules of the setting. You've been pacing around the lobby since the trial ended, so sorry, I was just thinking about Steelwind's theory. It's a little creepy when you think about it. Do you really think someone turned the professor into an undead? I don't think so. The prosecution's case is hinged on one key point, that Wallace is the only high-level necromancer nearby. We have to assume that he's the only person capable of using that type of magic. But then how is she walking around? I don't know. It doesn't make any sense. It's a given that Wallace didn't animate the body. No matter what they did, someone had to have used an illusion. Are there spells that can create freestanding illusions, not just disguises? I honestly don't know. We need to talk to someone who knows about that type of magic. Didn't Eris say that she was studying illusion magic? She might be able to give us a lead. Is that really a good idea? What do you mean? What if she's the one who created the illusion? What? I was detecting fear from her again. Celeste, are you afraid of Eris? What? No. I saw it this morning, too. You always get really anxious whenever she's around. She is terrifying. Oh, I didn't mean to be so obvious about it. What's wrong? Sorry, it's not based on anything really, but how do I explain this? You already know that I was working as a mercenary before this. When you do that kind of work, you build up an instant sense danger. You kind of have to if you want to stay alive. Sorry, I never knew. Tyrion, I fought literal monsters and barely escaped with my life. But when I'm near Eris, none of those creatures come even close. I get this feeling. It's like I'm in front of a predator that I could never hope to beat. Every instinct I have tells me to run away whenever she's close by. Really? But she doesn't seem that dangerous. She's just a little mischievous. As a person who plays a lot of illusionists, mischievous illusionists are the most dangerous. I know. I think maybe I'm just anxious or something. I should know better than anyone not to judge people by how they look. Sorry, forget I said anything. If you think we should talk to her, then we should do that. Celeste's instincts had never steered me wrong before. She had always been reliable, and if Eris was making her feel that way, that must have meant something. But that's all reason for us to talk to her. But aside from that, there was also something else that the prosecutor said. Mr. Cuthbert, there was a witness who saw the victim before the body was found, Yan Hughes. He, along with another witness, spotted Bellwether walking the hallways before the body was found. There's another witness who saw Bellwether walking around. Right. Yan probably isn't the most reliable witness. He is not. He was probably only half awake when he saw her. But do you think Steelwind will tell us who that witness was? We still have to deal with her. We won't lose anything by asking. Honestly, that's still bothering me. What is? Rip. Well. Why is she so interested in who my biological parents are? It's none of her business. That was strange. She traded information about the investigation for it, too. Maybe thinks you're her long-lost sister. Oh, I never even thought of that. Ugh, I don't know. Wouldn't that mean I'm the daughter of Lucio Steelwind? I think my dad would have thrown a fit if he ever heard that. You are pretty good at fighting. Ugh, that actually makes a lot of sense. I guess I like Arya, and I've always wished I had a sister. But I don't want to think about this now. Maybe you can ask her when you're at that brunch you strong-armed her into. Oh, I almost forgot. Can't believe I'm going to meet Altheris Duskweaver. Anyways, we still have a long investigation ahead of us. And we need to start by talking to Steelwind about that witness. Okay. Val, you're back. Where's the produce for tonight's dinner? I can't believe they let them come back here. The grocer said someone already collected the deliveries. Do you think someone stole them? I bet word about the trial has gotten out already. They're definitely not going to sell us to us anymore. That dumb attorney just had to go and ruin everything. I don't know. I was watching the trial. Do you really think that boy killed Catherine? Of course he did. He's a necromancer, for crying out loud. What they said is true. I'm one too. You know that's not the same thing. You only use healing magic. Come on, help me prep some of the leftover meat. I bet we can still make some soup out of it. I hate this. Yeah, I know. The students are totally going to complain about it. No, I hate magic. Sure, whatever, Val. What? Doesn't believe her at all. Sharon, what are we doing here? I'm not sure. Also don't know what you're doing here. I was supposed to make my way back to the academy, but I suddenly found myself here. It was strange, but I couldn't even remember how we'd arrived here. Wait, is that Eris? Celeste pointed further into the cemetery. Eris was standing there in front of the gravestone. She was placing flowers on and appeared to be chanting a short prayer. Well, we found her. We should probably talk to her later. It'd be rude to disturb her now. As we're about to leave, Eris suddenly turned to face us. This is Eris. She's great. She was far away, but she clearly noticed us and was beckoning us over. Oh, hello there. Were you two looking for me? Sorry, we were looking for you, but we understand if you'd rather talk later. No, I was just finishing up here. Do you have something you want to talk to me about? Well, we want to ask you some questions about the case. The trial. It was very Kafkaesque. That was my first time watching a court trial. You were there? You were truly remarkable. Thank you. Were you in the gallery? I've always enjoyed watching physical battles in the theater. But I see now that battles of wits can be just as entertaining to watch. I figured that would be the sort of thing that you would have known innately. Alright, whatever. Entertaining? Yeah, I know what you mean. You see, the odds are stacked against him, but then he suddenly pulls out this crazy deduction that makes the whole trial back. I've never really thought about it like that. You know, it's a battle of wits, you know. Well, now, okay, yeah, she's a turbo suspect. Look, she may be a turbo suspect, but she's also great, and I hope that she sticks around. But I'm sure it's far more entertaining to be the one making the deductions. I'm not really sure what you mean. I practice law so I can help those prosecuted by the justice system. I don't really do it to entertain myself. But is that really true? Don't you find the experience even the least bit entertaining, Tyrion? I wouldn't really put it that way. You're far too modest. You save people from the clutches of death. To your clients, you might as well be a knight in shining armor. Earlier you said that you were studying illusion magic. I am. Do you want to ask me about the prosecution's theory? Yes, actually. How did you know? Disguising an undead with illusion is definitely possible. Yep. As Lady Steelwind said, illusory disguise would be the best spell to use for that. What if someone created a freestanding illusion? We know that walls didn't animate and disguise the professor's corpse. The problem with the freestanding illusion theory is that it wouldn't have been able to knock over the vase, so Yan wouldn't have seen that happen. That physical interaction couldn't happen with a fully projected illusion. I just relate to her on a level because, like, that's the kind of character I like to play when I'm playing wizards in, like, D&D and stuff like that. They tend to be sort of, like, in this kind of vein. Very clearly up to something is how I would describe the characters I like to play. So what if the illusion wasn't disguising anything? Maybe someone created a freestanding illusion of Bellwether walking around. For something like that, one would probably use Major Illusion. Okay. While concentrating concentration, yes, creates a three-dimensional illusion. The illusion can take the form of any object creature that can be contained in a 10-foot cube. While concentrating, the caster can animate and move the image to a different location within range. The illusion is purely visual and can't be physically touched. Again, this is the main crux of why it couldn't be this. Bumps into Yan and also knocks over the vase. What is it? I don't think major illusion is what we're looking for. Correct. Do you remember what Yan said? I was cleaning a mess in the hallways. Bellwether knocked over a vase, and there were shards and dirt everywhere. If the bellwether that Yan saw was a major illusion, then she couldn't have knocked over the vase. Illusions created by that spell don't have any mess. The problem here is going to be, do we then assume that Yan might be a suspect? Because he is a suspect, like, just in the same sort of vein as, like, everyone else is. Since we're now looking at potential for a physical murder. Like, did Yan physically murder her? In which case, the key would come down to, does the second witness also see her physically interact with anything? But it's not necessarily likely at this point that I think Yan is actually likely the culprit, but I'm not ruling him out or anything. I see. How perceptive of you. Aren't there any other illusion spells that have mass? No, all known illusion spells in Weaver and Guard can only recreate visual and auditory sensations. It's interesting that they can't recreate the perception of thermal ones or like tactile ones, because those are sort of like higher level illusions, but the magic in this place seems to be fairly low level. Like, it doesn't actually create touch, but it creates the impression that you feel like there's been a touch. It wouldn't work on a vase, but there are spells that can do that in like Pathfinder or D&D or whatever. None of the spells can create something that someone can touch. So that means that someone disguised something to make it look like Bellwether. Why the look of suspicion, Celeste? Sorry, I wasn't... Calm yourself, I was only joking. I don't blame you for considering every possibility. The other thing that that could have been is obviously like a golem. One of the many golems that she had running around could have also been disguised under that system. In fact, I'm flattered you think I'm capable of pulling off such an elaborate ruse. Anyways, this does tell us one important thing. What's that? The bellwether that Yan saw had a physical mass to it. It wasn't a freestanding illusion, it was someone disguised as her. Again, I don't fully... Actually, you know what? I actually really think it probably was one of those statues, because that Be Quiet, I bet, was not something that he had been prompted to say, or the illusionist had to say. It was probably hearing the sound of the vase being shattered, and the automatic library golem yelled Be Quiet, because that's what they're programmed to do. So in the academy, there's a bunch of these sort of golems that Bellwether had introduced into the academy, and then she was using them to replace all the staff. So she was trying to fire all the people who work there and replace them with golems as an allegory for like AI, I guess, or something. There are a bunch of them in the library, and they're able to sort of like do various different tasks. Like if one of the students asked them to, they could get them to like pick up the books or something like that. The golems had a bunch of pre-programmed things that they would say based on certain external stimuli, but they would just have recorded audio. So for Bellwether, all the golems use Bellwether's voice because she's the one who made them, sort of. So the library ones, if they heard a loud sound, would yell Be Quiet with her voice. So the fact that the thing gets knocked over, the vase shatters, Yan doesn't say anything, and she yells Be Quiet, that tells me that that was actually one of the library golems that was in an illusion at that point. So the question now is, why is that happening? Also, how early am I on that assessment? Like, that's going to be the other thing, because if I have to like go through a million things before... This is a problem I have with Phoenix Wright games, is that I will come to this sort of conclusion at a point that she's actually murdered by a golem. I think it's actually fairly unlikely that she was actually murdered by a golem, unless there's certain things about them that we haven't been told about. Because I think that there are certain safeties that were mentioned that were in place on what they can or cannot do. Still possible, but I kind of am suspecting not likely. So this is a problem I have with like Phoenix Wright games, is like I would come to a conclusion really, really early on into the case, and like I would know that that's the answer, and they'd be like, hey, what did this thing? And I'd jump like 9 steps ahead and say it's this thing, and they'd be like, no, not that. We need you to like tone it back a little bit and get to there the like long way. And I'm like, God damn it. So yeah, but in any event, I'm really suspecting it's probably one of those things. I could be wrong. I think that that's likely though. It's quite a shame, isn't it? Eris looked pensively towards the gravestone. The name on the stone said Emily Grant, and her lifetime appeared to have been awfully short. She must have been only 12 years old when she died. Sorry for interrupting you. Was she someone you knew? I'm actually here on Wallace's behalf. Wallace knew her? Wallace joined the Academy as part of a program run by Headmaster Redmond. At the time, the Headmaster was reaching out to mages among the common folk. He had started a program to admit them to the Academy through a scholarship program. Both Emily and Wallace were among those mages. Wow, that must have been an amazing opportunity for them. The truth is, neither of them actually cared about learning magic. The real problem was that Emily had a deadly illness. She and Wallace were poor orphans, and they obviously didn't have the resources to treat it. But if they enrolled at the Academy would be obligated to give her medical treatment. The Imperial Academy teaches the best mages in the kingdom. They thought that curing her illness would be an easy task for the Academy's healers. But they were mistaken, I'm afraid. I'm sure you know this by now, but healing spells can only treat wounds. They can't cure illnesses. Emily's condition only got worse over the years, and eventually she succumbs to her illness. Which is probably what's motivating the other guy so much to understand necromancy. Wallace was furious. He didn't understand why the king was outlawing magic that could save lives. That's why he decided to learn himself. Yes, the Headmaster was inspired by Wallace's resolve. He gave him access to the Academy's forbidden tomes of necromancy, and with Headmaster's guidance, Wallace learned the spells that he knows today. So that's why. It was supposed to stay a secret between him and the Headmaster. I'm sure you know how that turned out. That one was interesting. It's weird that she's doing that, because she's trying to show a different side of herself compared to like what her actual thing is, because she was the one who actually revealed his spellbook, if I recall correctly. It was great for an individual that I didn't know. Out of respect, I'd bet it'd be best to leave it undisturbed. I think these are all going to be... Yeah, okay. It's the grave of Emily Grant. Such a shame that she died so young. I briefly paid my respects. What's interesting to me is that, like, I'm not getting the detect magic traces of illusion. But the thing about detect magic against illusionists is that skilled illusionists can defeat detect magic in older D&D editions. If an illusionist knows what they're doing, they can counter somebody who's trying to find out what's going on through detect magic. So that doesn't necessarily mean... When do we find out she likes tinkering with golems? Probably pretty soon, I guess. I don't know. But, yeah, no, I think this character's great. I think this character's really fun. Okay. Is she evil? Probably. Is she a murderer? Maybe. Is she a lot of fun? Definitely. There's still a lot we don't know, yeah. We know that Wallace didn't kill her, but did the true killer really murder her in the library? Right. You'll need to go there to find out more. Where should we go next? The prosecution believes that Wallace killed Bellwether in the library. We didn't really investigate that room the first time around. We might be able to find some new leads there. Any new magic here? There's never magic. I don't even know why we bother. Let's see here. Library. Oh, it's you, Mr. Cuthbert. Steelwind, what are you doing here? Once again, came across Steelwind. Like yesterday, she was the only one in the room. But she's seriously carrying out the investigation. Was she seriously carrying out the investigation alone here? Searching the classroom was one thing, but searching this entire library seemed a little ridiculous. After what happened at the trial yesterday, I decided it would be best to start my investigation here. Wallace was in the library for the entire morning. If she was insisting that he did it, this would probably be the best place. Actually, since I have you here, have you seen Eris Ilmater anywhere? It's my understanding that you're both acquainted with each other. Eris, what do you want with her? It's not for anything serious, mind you. It's just that oath of a commander lost her spell compendium. Now we need her to produce another one for our records. If you see her, please let her know that we'd like to speak to her. We saw her early in a cemetery nearby, but I have no idea where she is now. Once again, I have to compensate for that idiot's mistakes. Anyways, I was wondering if I could ask you some questions about this case. Very well, I suppose I still need to honor our deal from earlier. Have you had any luck finding the scene of the crime? Unfortunately, I haven't. For the witness testimonies, we have a rough idea of the route Bellwether took, None of the rooms we've checked have any signs of a struggle. Why are you so sure that a struggle happened? I'm mainly basing that off the Iannis sisters' testimonies. Valerie in particular knows that the bleeding came from the wound in her chest. Regrettably, the body's wounds were mended, so we can't determine what kind of weapon the murderer used. During the trial, he mentioned that another witness saw Bellwether walking around yesterday. Who is this person, and why haven't they been called to testify? I'm sorry, but I can't tell you that. Steelwood's posture tightened. Something was making her uneasy. You've been pretty transparent with your investigation so far. I have no obligation to justify myself to you, nor do I have any obligation to help the opposition. Didn't we have a deal? Hiding information doesn't exactly seem fair to us. I believe I've given you plenty of information already. So regardless of what I said before, the answer is still no. Her family is dangerous. So it's a her, and they're definitely close to the nobility. Would it be Eris again? I don't know if she is nobility. I have no idea. I have Horace caught a stray thought from her. Her family is dangerous? What does she mean by that? Is there something about this witness' family that you're worried about? No. This could be a feint. I'm sorry, but you'll have to try harder than that if you want to bluff me. Why'd she go to such lengths to hide one's witness' identity? She was perfectly fine with revealing elements of the investigation yesterday. Maybe I need to try looking somewhere else. Okay, so I'll have to get this filled out so I can do the other thing there. Okay. Books for recreational purposes. You know, I never got to finish that book. Since we're here, no, absolutely not. And I don't care. That's fine. I'm afraid I must agree with Mr. Cuthbert. She's not an attorney. She's also not like an assistant attorney. Like she can read the book. That's fine. Oh, that's rich coming from you. I bet you're sneaking peeks at it too. Nonsense. I would never do such a thing. I already have my own copy. What? And you're not sharing it? You're very demanding sometimes. Tell me about it. Come on, please. You can even recommend some of your favorite books to me. Oh. I mostly read teen romance. I can't let her know that. She'd be thrilled. Why do you... Oh, it's because you would never hear the end of it, and you'd have a person who would be constantly talking about it, like, forever. I'm going to be so tilted if you don't solve this in 30 minutes. I'm probably not going to solve this in 30 minutes. I guess we all had different tastes. If it's anything like the first case, it's probably going to be finished up next Wednesday, but yeah. It's a holy text from the Church of Bahamut. I read some of these with Eris earlier. It's been meaning to ask, do you guys worship dragons in Weavengard? I've never really been the religious type, but I've seen some devout worshippers in the capital. It's most prominent religion here. The skilled Lord Rithelion is said to be the source of all arcane magic. It's no wonder that he's such a large part of our culture. Yet worship of the celestial gods is forbidden. I would need to find a way to learn more about them. It's globe of the world. It's amazing how many other nations there are aside from Weavengard. I've been to most of these places. You should come with me next time, Tyrion. Isn't traveling through the border heavily restricted? Don't worry, I won't report you. I can't exactly blame you for wanting to leave. Well, I think that in her case it's part of her job, so I mean, it's not like that'd be that unusual. Due to constant use of the arcane constructs, this is the golems thing. Voice system. Voice lines can now only be set by Headmaster Redmond. Is that why I can't make the construct say what I want? The construct speak using Professor Bellwether's voice. Yep, so this is what I was talking about earlier. Unfortunately, that was an open invitation to many of the students. It wasn't long before the constructs began speaking several obscenities using her voice. Honestly, that's kind of funny. It is, but this is a place of learning, not one of childish chicanery. But why is Headmaster Redmond the only person allowed to set the voice lines? There were also rumors several faculty members were partaking in these pranks. That's also pretty funny. There are tables for students to sit while they study. Okay, I don't think I could handle studying here day after day. No, you have ADHD, but you know what? That's fine. Nothing. Okay. Yeah, so I do apologize. You're probably going to have to be tilted, and you know what? That's fine. Is there anything here that would be relevant given the current circumstances? I don't think so. The locker room. Okay, so we spent some time wandering through the academy. That's when we overheard a conversation from a nearby room. From what I understand, Miss Steelwind has already moved the investigation elsewhere. How long must I wait before I retrieve my things? Sorry, old-timer. Orders are orders. Nothing comes in or out until this case is over and done with. Gonna have to wait like a week. Unbelievable. I mean, I could do the influencer thing and try and tell you to like buy the game, but I'm like not getting sponsored or anything or paid by these people, so like I don't care. Yeah, I mean, at the same time, you should also like play the Phoenix Wright games and then go watch my streams of them. even though they're missing parts because the stream cuts off if you leave it on for more than 8 hours. Commander White and Headmaster 2. Oh, ho, Mr. Cuthbert. Hey, kid. So, in any case, are there other matters I must attend to? Please inform me when I can reclaim my things. Sure thing. Okay. Looks like Commander White was standing guard in front of this locker room, but it didn't look like he's conducting any sort of investigation. Was he here on Steelwind's orders? He was told to sit here and wait and not get in the way of her goddamn investigation. I'd have to start with Ace Attorney, yeah. Technically speaking, this one you definitely do not have to start with Ace Attorney on account of, like, this one is completely unrelated. Different developer, different people, different universe. I wouldn't worry about Phoenix Wright for this one, but yeah, you know. He might be able to tell us who the secret witness was. What was the headmaster talking to you about? He has some items stored in the faculty lockers. Currently playing a separate detective-adjacent game anyway? Which one? The problem is, Steelwind said no one gets in or out of this room. Except for her and you two, I guess. She won't even let the other knights in here. Really? Is that normal? Nope, but things rarely are when she's calling the shots. I just go with it. Why would she give me access to the crime scene if she wasn't even letting the knights in? She probably assumes I'm not going to screw everything up, is what we're probably guessing here. I don't know what her deal is, but she's been acting strange lately. She's probably pissed off at you because you keep screwing up. She's been really paranoid, that girl. Frankly, I can't tell what's going through her head. You mentioned that the prosecutor's been paranoid recently. Do you think it has something to do with this case? Nah, it started way before that. I'd have to start there because it's been on my backlog forever, and having this jump the queue would be very disrespectful now. I mean, a little disrespect never hurt anybody, except for all the people it did. Lately, she's been using the Inquisition to investigate a lot of non-magical homicides. What? Wouldn't it be easier to work with the relevant law enforcement for that? I don't know why, but she's convinced that these cases have magic involved. But every time we scan one of those crime scenes, nothing turns up. I got to say, though, if it weren't for the scans, I might actually agree with her. Why do you say that? Those homicides. I haven't ever seen anything like them. They're probably some of the most screwed up cases I've ever handled, and I've seen some things. For one of those cases, we had ourselves a disgruntled spouse. She found out that a man was going around town with a barkeep, if you catch my meaning. Wait, what do you mean? They're making the beast with two backs. Ah, illegal transmutation magic, I understand. What? He was two-timing her. I don't know this legal form. Oh my god, he was very dead having sex with another woman, Tyrion. Explain it to me more simply. Oh, you're playing Blueprints? Yeah, that one I've been looking into, but I haven't really gotten around to. I'm not sure that that's a detective game, is it? Oh, okay. Anyways, you know what the spouse does? She stalks the poor woman. Started leaving threatening notes all around where she worked. The barkeep told the city watch all about what was happening. But no matter how much they staked at the cabin, they could never catch her. Then one day, the barkeep arrived home. Little did she know the spouse was waiting there for her. Poor lady never had a chance. Then to tie the whole thing together, the spouse waited for her husband to get home. She comes to a big meat pie using the barkeep's remains. So, I'm trying to remember which story that reminds me of, because there's a murder story that's similar to, but I can't remember what it is. Oh, that story is pretty... I know. Steelwind thinks someone developed a new type of magic that can control people's minds. No, that's you know... And these homicides are some kind of sick test run. Is Eris murdering, like... Is Eris a serial killer? That would be really on brand for her. Magic that can affect people's minds? Wouldn't Mage Blight make more sense? Mage Blight? When a mage overuses their magic, it can have pretty bad consequences on their mind. Detective adjacent? Nothing like this, but tickles the same part. Yeah, it's a puzzle game. I feel like. They temporarily lose grip of reality and begin seeing things that aren't there. When a mage becomes like that, it almost never ends well. They basically become psychotic. They enter a frenzy and begin firing spells randomly, which only makes it worse. I've seen my fair share of Mage Blight cases, and this wasn't that. Not all these perps were mages, and the ones that were didn't even use their spells. One thing was that each of the perps almost seemed to wake up after we arrested them. All of them said things like, it wasn't me, or I didn't have a choice. They didn't have a choice? To be fair, we get that, people saying that sort of stuff in real life, so, you know. I doubt it means anything. Sometimes people can't face the things they've done. So you just say you had no control to take responsibility. But we are in a place with magic, so I feel like you should take that a little bit more seriously. I was wondering if I could mislead the commander into revealing who the secret witness is. During the trial, Steele mentioned that someone other than Jan Hughes saw Bellwether walking around. Have you seen them around lately? We want to speak with them. Ha, nice try, kid. Well, it was worth a shot. Honestly, I couldn't tell you if I wanted to. I don't think anyone other than Steelman knows who this witness is. I sure as hell don't. What? She was even hiding it from the Inquisition commander? Piecing together bits of information to make progress has also solved a bit of an underlying mystery. Yeah. Why was she being so secretive? It seemed like the commander didn't know who the secret witness was either. This isn't getting us anywhere. Steelman's behavior is strange, though. Perhaps we could try analyzing her behavior. If I did that, I might be able to figure out why she's acting so strangely. Let's take a moment to work through this. Steelman's behavior has been strange this time around. She's hiding elements of the case, even from the commander. Anyone can tell that she doesn't have much faith in him. I am standing right here. This is the first time we've seen her hide key details of a case from him. What is motivating Steelwind to keep secrets? There has to be a reason why she's being so secretive. I don't honestly know what it would be in this particular instance here. She is kind of arrogant. I don't think that she's actually being paranoid. I think that his statement that she's paranoid is wrong. I'm gonna try this and see what happens. Actually, I don't know. She's been hoarding information about the case after all. There's only one reason why she wouldn't utilize the Inquisition like she usually does. It's because she doesn't trust them. I hate to say it, but that's not paranoia. That's like, that is logic. The reason she doesn't trust the Inquisition, in my view, is that she's got the logical understanding that they're a bunch of incompetent idiots who will go up, testify something that is incorrect. I'll be like, hey, the dumbasses did something wrong, and she'll be like, God damn it, my entire case hinged on the fact that these dumbasses gave me that information, and now it's all wrong. I don't think that's paranoia, because it happens every single time the Inquisition does something. She's always been standoffish with us. There is one exception. Who has Steelwind trusted for this case? Tyrion. She let us investigate the crime scene without any restrictions. Yeah, I didn't notice that until now. Like, if it was some sort of paranoia, like, she wouldn't let us either, because we're like her opposition. She trusts us to get things right, because we have a track record of getting things correct. And she is more motivated by trying to get to the bottom of things. That's not paranoia, that's more logic to me. Does she really trust us that much? I don't think personal trust is the reason. Why does Steelwind trust us this time? We don't usually interact with her, and she's worked the Inquisition on plenty of cases that we weren't involved with. And, we didn't answer to anyone. We weren't subject to corruption from the nobility. So why would that make Steelwind trust us this time around? Was it about Wallace? I'm not actually 100% sure what they're looking for. Because this is just is or isn't. This is it about me, the headmaster? So it can't be any capable of if we're talking about Steelwind, because, like, Steelwind is capable of, like, the only way that we could do like a capable of is using magic, because none of the other ones parse.
What if...
Not controlled by the nobility. Yeah, I kind of... Oh, yeah, okay. It has to be controlled by, yeah. I had it set with slightly different wording, and I thought I got that one. Someone doesn't know that much about us, but she does know that we aren't prone to noble corruption. Right, you did just indict a noble last week. Meanwhile, the Inquisition usually bends to the nobility's whims. Can't argue with there. What can I infer about the secret witness? We already know that they're a noble, though, so this, I don't know why we need to get to this. Using my intuition, I can tell that she's worried about the witness's family. If she's worried about corruption of the nobility, that can only mean one thing. The witness is a noble. The witness has to belong to a noble family. That's why she's so wary of interference. But we're obviously not going to do anything corrupt. Why is she hiding the witness identity from us? I remember that thought I saw through the eye. So regardless of what I said before, the answer is still no. Her family is dangerous. Yeah, those still feel similar. Yeah, I thought I had already done that because they were still similar. I couldn't remember that I got that. She wrote about her safety. Yeah, I guess harassing noble could put you in danger, but I'm the protege of the infamous Ruby Tamora. Yeah, it's not as if we weren't already in the nobility's bad side. I'm sure House Pierce still has it out for us. They're definitely not the ones sending those rogues into her house. They're definitely the ones sending those rogues to your house. What? Don't worry about it. I've got it under control. It's only mean that the family that we're dealing with is even more powerful than House Pierce. If the prosecutors worry with them, they must be as powerful as the Steelwinds. Wait, don't tell me you're dealing with another one of the Four Pillars? I have to ask about that. I always hear you and Ruby say it a lot, but who are the Four Pillars? It's the name people use for the four most powerful noble houses. They're led by the dukes and duchesses. House Frege, House Von Sanctus, House Sybil, and of course, House Steelwind. The four of them stand at the top of Weaver hierarchy. So Steelwind is one of them. Yeah, okay. What is it? Steelwind's paranoia all started after she investigated this room. We were at the crime scene, and she left to follow a lead. But an hour later, she came back to the lecture hall and basically booted everyone out. Her behavior changed after investigating this room. That means that she found something here. That something must point to the family from the Four Pillars. Okay. The commander shifted slightly. You know, Steelwind's orders say, I can't snoop around here, but you two, on the other hand. Don't worry, just leave it to us. I have some school records that say which locker belongs to which student. You can use it to tell whose lockers you're looking into. Ah, there's an arcane construct in the back here. It's probably here to aid students. Anyways, I don't think it's relevant to our investigation. You're wrong. Just in case, I made a note of it in my runestone. Construct in the locker room. There appears to be an inactive arcane construct in the academy locker room. I used the legend that the commander gave me. I looked carefully across the list to find the names of some notable students. Okay, Eris isn't on here. I opened the locker with Wallace's ID number. Inside I found a bottle of fragrant liquid and something that looked like a makeup kit. Huh, why does Wallace have this stuff? It did seem strange, but it wasn't my place to judge. I should take a look through the... they mentioned that people were, like, deliberately messing with Wallace by, like, swapping his nameplate with someone else's, so that might be someone else's, thing there. Miriam Frege. Inside I found several stacks of worn-out textbooks and notebooks. Wait a minute, these notebooks all have Wallace's name on them, so they've swapped those two. I opened the notebook and quickly scanned through those pages. Appeared to be notes on the art of necromancy. These are Wallace's notebooks, but why are they in Miriam Frege's locker? Did she steal his things? What was going on here? I began taking all the textbooks and notebooks one after the other. The locker was really cramped, but I noticed a stain near the back of it. I took everything out to get a better look at it. What? I think this is dried blood. Wait, Celeste scanned it for traces. No, there aren't any traces on it. Stain of blood inside the locker with Miriam Frege's ID number. The blood does not have any traces of magic on it. Using the legend that the commander gave me, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so they swapped these two. Miriam Frege had the bottle of perfume or whatever. Jaden Von Sanctus. I opened the locker with Jaden Von Sanctus's ID number. Inside I found several bottles of some kind of transparent lotion. There's nothing but lotion in here, and also a distinct smell. Oh, I wonder why a student would need this much lotion. I took one of the bottles to inspect it more closely. But wait, Tyrion, don't touch those with your hands. From the label, it appears to be some kind of sanitizing liquid. It's a little strange, but it doesn't seem to be related to this case. I look carefully across the list to find the names of notable Susan's, Warren Sybil. Open the locker with Warren Sybil's ID number. Inside, I found some textbooks and neatly stacked decks of tarot cards. Oh, it's like those cards that fortune tellers use. I wonder if the students studies divination magic. Is the Arcana the thing by which all are revealed, blah, blah, blah? Are we going to use these? But anyways, I don't think this is related to the case. It's the legend the commander gave me. Okay. We found a few things, but I can't really make sense of any of it. We should look at this from the prosecutor's perspective. Steelwind found something in one of the lockers. Whose locker had the most suspicious evidence? Okay, well, I accidentally... Okay, we found some insanely suspicious things in Frega's locker. And Wallace's notebooks and even some blood. That blood is certainly strange. It implies that something bloody was stored in there. It could only be the murder weapon. Do you think someone stole it? No, actually, I think it was Steelwind who took it. Oh, right. Aura mentioned that she investigated this room. She must have taken the murder weapon as evidence. With that said, there's something else that's strange with Miriam Frega's locker. Had a lot of Wallace's possessions. It's possible that she really did steal these items from him. It's more likely that this locker isn't actually hers. Remember what Wallace told us before? Sometimes the other students would steal the ID number off my locker and switch it with other students. They thought it was funny whenever the students got angry with me. So someone switched the nameplates. This means that this isn't Miriam Frega's locker, it's Wallace's. But that would mean that the bloody object came from Wallace's locker. It appears so. Okay. Locker usually belongs to Wallace. Nightgrave, someone must switch the ID numbers with Miriam's locker. If that's true, why didn't Steelwind present the bloody item during the trial? I proved that Bellwether was wounded before Valerie healed her. Wouldn't that have been the perfect time to present what she found? It was a bloody item found in the defendant's locker, after all. Right, that is weird. There's something more to this that I wasn't seeing, but what? I think we'll just have to ask Steelwind ourselves. Oh. The fact that Eris isn't on there is, like, kind of weird to me. Okay, should have enough information now. Let's go talk with the prosecutor. Please tell me what's wrong. Are you mad at me? I'm not mad, okay? Can we just get to work? Twins' voice rang out from the kitchen. They sounded like they were in an argument. Do you think they're okay? Sounds private. We shouldn't get involved. I guess you're right. I slowly closed the door in the library to the library and kept my mind on the investigation. Wait, what? I don't know if we should be seeing this, technically speaking, but okay. You know what? Fine. You know what I think? You don't get to say that you hate magic. Look at how many problems it's causing for us. Yeah, for this dumb job. None of this even matters for you. What? Those people from the church always say that mages are chosen by divine right. And they're right. You don't get to complain about being better than me, Val. I'm not better than you. Yes, you are, and I'm so sick pretending you're not. You're helping Jan while I was jealous of how easy I thought his job was. You outed yourself as mage trying to save Catherine bloody Bellwether. Tina, that's not... I hate how much I'm holding you back. I know you. I know how hard you've been working in the library. You're destined for great things. Tina, I haven't learned anything. Come on, don't give me that. You've been hanging straight to the library after work for years. Yeah, and I still haven't learned anything. What? I can't wrap my head around how it works, and I've been trying for years. I don't understand ether, I don't understand spell formulas. It's like they're speaking another language. They kind of are. I can do magic, but I'm nothing like the students here. But you know healing magic. It's the most basic spell. Children in the theurgy program learn that in their first class. That's actually really, like, good if it's that strong of a healing spell that can close up a gaping wound. Like, it doesn't actually save their life, but if you get to someone fast enough and, like, cast that on them while they have that problem, that's actually a really strong thing. It took me years to even figure that out. Why didn't you ever tell me about this? Because magic's the only thing I have. You're better than me at everything. What? I'm not. I'm always making mistakes and forcing you to clean up after me. We only have this job because you begged the headmaster to hire me with you. You're amazing. The students here are spoiled aristocrats and they love your food. I can't even fry an egg right. You're not the one holding us back. Do you really think my cooking is that good? I don't think I could live without eating your food every day. Remember when I was just learning to cook at the orphanage? We were just a pair of dumb kids, but you were there with me every step of the way. You were there for me. I would have never gotten this good if you weren't always with me. Tina, I'm sorry I never told you this sooner. I could never do this without you. Neither could I. I'm sorry for being so stupid before. Okay, I was also being. We should get started on that soup. Right, can you help me grab all the leftover meat from the freezer? Okay, well, oh, you're back. We've uncovered a few things during our investigation. Steelwind, are you acquainted with a student named Miriam Frega? She shifted slightly. It was subtle, but I could see her discomfort. I underestimated him. I said it before, Mr. Cuthbert. I won't fall for such an obvious bluff. It's not a bluff, Steelwind, and I'll prove it using the evidence we've gathered. Do we actually have the evidence here? I'm going to go ahead and save here. Okay. Steelwind was paranoid, and for whatever reason was due to the involvement of Miriam Frege. If I could convince her to reveal why she's so secretive, she might give me more information. You've been behaving strangely, Steelwind. Even the Knights of the Inquisition have noticed. Just tell me the truth. Why are you being so paranoid? I'm not sure what you're trying to imply, Mr. Cuthbert. I prosecute the defendant the same way I always have. It's probably this. You were tonight to stay away from the crime scene. You've even taken it upon yourself to conduct the investigation yourself. That is not normal behavior for a prosecutor. To be fair, she normally does not have normal behavior for a prosecutor. She's already, like, not that normal for that, so... I took those actions because the Inquisition is incompetent. That's what I was saying. How can I possibly trust them with anything? The Knights are incompetent. But even you can see the value of delegation. During Celeste's case, you still delegated tasks to the Inquisition. You could have easily investigated the McCoy Tavern yourself. This academy is huge. You wouldn't conduct your investigation this way unless you had a good reason. Then why don't you enlighten me? Why would I act in such a way? What would cause me to behave so strangely? We're implying it was this, but... Nope. Yep. That's kind of what I thought. I didn't see how that would actually be the right case. It's probably this, then. House Frege is the important part of this. The Inquisition is corrupt and will bend to the nobility, so what would happen to the powerful nobles who were publicly involved in this case? That noble's influence, they probably ordered the Inquisition to conceal their involvement. A high-profile noble is involved in this case, Steelwind. I believe that noble is Miriam Frege. Again with this, do you think you can bluff me by throwing out the names of random nobles? Not every noble is a malevolent criminal like Garrick Pierce. I said it before, and I'll say it again. My investigation doesn't involve the Freges. It kind of really doesn't, honestly. Nothing about this case has anything to do with House Frege. Okay, I skipped a step, but how do you explain this, Steelwind? The commander told us that you were following a lead in the locker room yesterday. We investigated the lockers of students from the four pillar families, and we found stains of blood in the locker with Miriam Frege's ID number, and it was presumably left by a bloody object. The bloody object must have been taken by someone, and he became extremely paranoid after he found something in the locker room. If I had to guess, I'd say that you took the bloody object as evidence. And what evidence do you have to support this outrageous claims? What? The only thing you have is evidence of bloodstain. There's a myriad of explanations for that. Everything else you mentioned is pure speculation. You can't prove that piece of evidence exists. I could have found any number of things in that room, or possibly nothing at all. Do we have a psychology bar? Let's not be coy, Steelwind. Anyone can tell that bloodstain is the most noble thing in that room. Are you so sure? You weren't with me during my investigation. As I said, any number of things could happen to change my behavior. We'll appeal. Do you not see how wrong that is? You don't have any proof to support your accusations. Threaten? That doesn't seem right for her. I'll have no choice but to pull the owner of that locker on. It still doesn't feel right for her case. Found an object in the locker with Miriam Frege's nameplate on it. If you don't present what we found to the court, I'll have no choice but to pull the owner of that locker onto the stand. That's ridiculous. We both know that the locker in question belongs to Wallace Nightgrave. Can you unequivocally prove that, Steelwind? Because the way I see it, there's a lot of room for doubt there. Enough doubt for me to pull Lady Frege into the witness stand. If I had more context, maybe I wouldn't have to resort to that. I don't feel like she would resort to the threat that badly. She'd probably be like, fine, put her on the stand. Your funeral. Her brow furrowed for a bit. She was searching for a counter-argument. Her thought here is that she's protecting us from Frege rather than anything else there, and she also doesn't want to drag them into this sort of thing, but if we do the dragging, that's our heads in the chopping block. But she has to excel in recitation. I'd finally gotten her. Which I guess she doesn't want on her conscious, but I would still, like, be like, he's bluffing if I was her, but... Argument 1. So I will play Mr. Cuthbert. I suppose I don't have a choice, do I? Just so we're clear, I wasn't acting to protect nobility, but I'll admit that Miriam Frege was the other witness that saw Bellwether that day. I see, I had some suspicions, but there's also another matter. Seal tensed once again. She's still hesitant. When I was investigating the body, I found this. Evidence of academic dishonesty. Tightly packed folder containing several documents. The documents contain evidence detailing multiple instances of plagiarism, fraud, bribery of school officials, and various other offenses committed by Miriam Frege. Okay, this is one of those sort of switches that recontextualizes an awful lot of the specifics of this case. And the fact that they're coming in at this point really feels like they're doing a second act switcheroo where, like, a lot of the assumptions that we built up already have to be dismantled so that we can make room for new evidence, but that's fine. What the? Looks like Miriam's been cheating. But why would Bellwether have something like this? From the way it's arranged in this folder, I think it might have been blackmail. Miriam Frege is considered a prodigy in the practice of conjuration magic. She won a litany of awards, and she'll most definitely graduate with honors. If these flyers were to reach the public, it would absolutely ruin her reputation. Do you think the professor was trying to threaten her? It appears so, when I discovered that several elements of this case were still unknown. That's why I found this in Wallace Nightgrave's locker. A bloody rapier. A rapier covered in blood. It was found in Wallace Nightgrave's locker. Apparently it's a valuable family heirloom to House Frege. It was reportedly stolen by Miriam Frege weeks before the murder. It's very likely that this was the murder weapon. This rapier is a valuable family heirloom of House Frege. And a few weeks ago, Miriam reported that rapier was stolen from her room. But why was it found in Wallace's locker? It was planted there. Not that I'm complaining, but why didn't you present this in court? To be honest, I'd like to avoid involving House Frege by any means necessary. I knew it. You're just protecting her, aren't you? Miss McCoy, do you recall how Weavengard's justice system works? Poorly. To acquit a defendant, you need to unequivocally prove that they didn't commit the crime. To do that, they either need a solid alibi, or we need to prove that someone else committed the crime. What do you suppose will happen if you bring Miriam Frege onto the stand? House Frege won't allow one of its members to be indicted in a court of law. They'll plant and forge evidence to implicate your defendant, and they'll use the Inquisition to do so. Even I wouldn't be able to stop them should it come to that. So that's why we've been keeping them away from the investigation. Can't you do anything? I thought the Seal ones were powerful too. I don't have the support of my house. Right now I'm just a prosecutor, nothing more. Steelwind, you know that this isn't fair for us. Just do nothing. Do nothing and let us win. Celeste, if we can't go after Miriam, then you can at least help us save Wallace. I'm not going to do that. Why? What if Miriam Frege is the real killer? Her sword is the murder weapon, and Bellwether was trying to blackmail her. Eris might be safe for now. Eris might be the serial killer. Eris might not have done this one. She might be the serial killer. Her sword is the murder weapon, and Bellwether was trying to blackmail her. I seem to recall another case where an innocent person's sword was used to frame them. That's... As a prosecutor, it is not my place to decide who's guilty and who's not. I won't engage in corruption, even if it's counter-corruption from another noble house. I'm sorry. Do you know where Miriam is right now? Do you not hear what I just said? You can't let her think there's even the slightest possibility that you'll indict her. She'll bring the entire wrath of House Frege down to you. I won't be protecting you, be able to protect you if that happens. I don't need your protection. I can't do anything for Wallace unless I know everything that's happened. Frege has the last piece I need to put everything together. I suppose I don't have much of a choice, do I? Her dormitory is room 107. I imagine that she'll be there, considering that classes are suspended. Thank you, Steelwind. If I don't tell you, she might be a bigger overarching villain. It would be even funnier if she's like the serial killer. We never defend her and she never gets caught. She's just a serial killer who happens to be around. Like, she's like Dexter, except going after like innocent. Well, even then, it's not necessarily like innocent people from the sounds of it, because if they're like people are cheating or whatever, like she might have a grudge against people who are committing some sort of moral sin in her eyes or whatever. But that would be even funnier if like it just never comes up. It's like she's obviously a serial killer. She's definitely a serial killer, but we just never bother bringing it up. That would be really, really funny. If I don't tell you, I'm pretty sure you'll just find some using other means. But please, Mr. Cuthbert, exercise caution. Okay. But yeah, that would be really, really funny. The dorm rooms. Let's go here actually real quick. Oh, you're still here. It'd be nice if we could tell her, like, the guy needs your spell book, but apparently we can't do that for him, but whatever, okay. I followed Steelman's directions and found Miriam Frega's dorm room. This is actually a really... Is she a goth? The dorm leading outside seems a lot more ornately decorated than the other rooms. This looks like a goth chick's room. I went to knock on the door, only to not realizing that it was only partially closed. As my fist came into contact with wood, I accidentally pushed it open. Disgruntled student. Occupation, student. Age 17. Arcane art, conjuration. Okay, that's her. Okay. As the door swung open, I made eye contact with the girl inside. She seemed to be studying at a desk, but she was now staring at me, stunned. I slowly saw her expression shift from puzzled look to a furious and violent scowl. Excuse me, these insects have no respect. How dare you barge into my room? Sorry, I was trying to knock, but Construct, remove these hoodlums from my room. Acknowledged. From the corner of the room, an arcane construct stood up and began charging towards me with a terrifying speed. Before I even knew what was happening, it raised its fist to strike me. Flustered, I fell back and raised my arms to shield myself. I closed my eyes, bracing for the impending impact, but instead I heard a clang of steel striking stone. Confused, I opened my eyes to see Celeste standing between this construct and me. Her sword was drawn, and it was locked with the construct's fist. Despite the construct's imposing size and strength, Celeste was slowly pushing it back. Upon taking a closer look at Celeste, the girl narrowed her eyes. Construct, stand down. Acknowledged. I'm terribly sorry for that. I wasn't aware that this man was your servant. Other way around, but, okay. Celeste's hand was firmly clenched around the hilt of her sword, but she put it away without another word. I haven't noticed you around campus. Are you a new student? Are you a lesbian? If the academy allowed her to bring her retainer, she must be important. Okay, well... she's gonna have a big turn on this one later, but that's fine. She just... Okay. What are you talking about? I saw an opportunity. Yes, my master just enrolled here recently. What? Celeste squinted at me, confused. I tilted my head towards Miriam. Yes, I just started here. I take it you're Miriam Frega? Yes, it seems that my reputation precedes me. I feel like someone like this would probably know who the other actual important people are and realize that she's not one of the people in her list of important people in her brain. So, I don't know. One of the four pillar families, she's extremely arrogant, but appears to excel at her studies at the Imperial Academy. I can't imagine she has many genuine friends. Well, apparently she's not actually good at her studies, but, okay. It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance, lady. I'm Celeste. Celeste, she caught herself, pausing for what was a very awkward moment. I'm Celeste Steelwind. Was she serious? There's no way Miriam was going to believe. Steelwind? It's a pleasure to meet another member of such an esteemed house. She must be from a distant branch family. Father may have a use for her. Wait, she was actually buying this? I just moved... Well, we did establish that she needs to cheat in her exams, so she is, I guess, probably stupid. I am out of time, though, but I will just continue until we get this conversation done here. I just moved in, and I thought that I should introduce myself, seeing as you're a top student in the field of conjugation. Conjuration. Yes. Well, there's no backing out now. Oh, God. Okay. So whatever the hell is going on with this, I guess we're leaving that for next Wednesday. So like I said, you get to be mad, because, yeah, no, we're not finishing this one. But yeah, no, this has been an interesting case. I do feel like this is one of the, like, later Phoenix Wright cases, because usually the earlier ones you could sort of get them done, like it would be the investigation phase and then you go to trial, and then that would be the whole sort of case there. Like that would be the sort of whole thing one and done. This is skipping to those sort of like longer 2-act ones that they had in the later parts of usually most of the games. The investigation phase does seem to be a lot faster though in this game, so I feel like breaking it into 2 parts makes a bit more sense. But yeah, like, yeah, things are going. I don't know. I really hope that even if Eris is like the murderer, we get to see more of her in the rest of the game, because like again, she's a really funny character. But yeah, that's gonna be it for this week. Don't know what to say otherwise. Having a lot of fun with this game. I really like it. But in any event, hope you found this one enjoyable. And of course,